Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Resort Originals. We are going to be doing a podcast today regarding the new games of Pokemon Sword and Shield. We have a great cast today, so you guys are able to introduce yourself, so let's get it started.
Hi, how's it going? My name is MysticUmbreon. I do Pokemon countdowns. I'm also known for the best team. I do theories and really cool speculation videos.
And JPR?
Hello, I'm JPR, and I don't even know what kind of videos I make anymore. I just do whatever I feel like. A lot of them being just like rant, top fives, a lot of miscellaneous stuff.
And Hybrid?
What's going on, guys? My name is HybridHero. I also don't know what kind of Pokemon videos I make. I just make whatever. Top 10 theories. Whatever comes my way, I just feel like making it.
All right, and Patrick Jason?
You gotta overlay that image as you say that. What's going on, guys? My name is Jason Plays Pokemon. I'm the most inconsistent, washed up PokeTuber in the community. How you guys doing?
Hey, now that's going to be another topic for another day. But so we're going to be going over.
I am?
No, on who's going to be who's the most washed up.
Oh, I'm so down for that.
I think I can give Jason a run for his money.
Oh, really? There's somebody else?
Yeah.
Give me like 3 months to not upload.
All right, let's get into this right away. So, Pokemon Sword and Shield. We'll start out with the trailer. What do you guys think how the trailer did as far as the delivery goes? Not what's in, or not what you guys think, but more of what they delivered so far for the opening trailer.
It didn't show much. If you like, besides the graphics, the music, and the general like aims, they didn't show much. I think that was deliberate, just because like Pokemon does a periodic release thing, where they just show off small things here and like every month. So because of that, like for a Pokemon trailer, it was good. For a like actual game trailer, it was pretty trash.
So I guess I have a follow-up question then. So what we've already seen, I'd say starting in Gen 6, we have the introductory trailer to the new generation. Now that we've made it to the Switch, did you expect them to do something new or show something that is so different that that's something that's going to entertain an audience that's already been there for a while? Where
100%.
So go ahead on that.
I agree.
Well, I was gonna say, like, what I'm kind of surprised by is the fact that it's a good marketing move, but they started off with the starters. I don't think they did that for Sun and Moon, did they? They teased a couple of things before.
They did. They showed the starters.
Logo first, and then
yes.
They did legendaries, and it took a long time for us to get the Gen 7.
Yeah, it was like the 4th or 5th big trailer in that I think we got starter reveal, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we got the trademarks, and then
I believe it was the second big trailer.
I feel that with the fashion that they showed with the starters in Pokemon Sword and Shield was definitely a lot different of an aesthetic than they were in Pokemon Sun and Moon, where it's kind of just like, oh hey, here's the starters. But in the Sword and Shield trailer, it's like, oh hey, you see Sobble in a pond, you see Scorbunny hopping around, and then you see Grookey proceed to climb to the top of like a tower or something.
Yes, I thought that was good. Yeah,
artsy and a lot more clever. And it makes it makes the starters look a lot more lively, and it really makes like your first impression of the starters like much better than like the ones in Pokemon Sun and Moon.
So do you think it was good? Did you think that it was good that they did not use actual gameplay to deliver the brand new
I think so,
starters?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the one thing they did best.
It was definitely different, and like Mick said, I believe it showed off their personalities a lot better.
I think it's important to note too, like if they're starting off with the starters, there's got to be some really important gimmick ultimately that'll revolve around them, I'm sure, by the end of it, because they got to be important enough to be the first things they showed, or they just, and this is also what worries me, they might have figured that there was nothing else worth showing at the time that would have got people excited other than the starters. So that's kind of like
a safe bet. I mean, you look at all the conversation that sparked on Twitter. Everybody's doing like their starter Pokemon tier list, one gotta go type thing. You know, all that good
Scorbunny, but
everybody likes starter Pokemon, so it's a safe thing to lead off.
Yeah,
and like everyone decides. You remember when X and Y came out? Everyone was like Team Froakie, Team Fennekin, Team Chespin. It's just like start that going. Yeah.
Yeah, just from what my perspective was from the trailer, and I made a video on it, and I knew people were not going to like it, because if it's Pokemon, you have to like it no matter what. And like, I feel like as someone who's been around in Pokemon since like 1999 when it first came out, as far as like yellow version in the anime goes, like I feel like I can make a decision whether or not this is something that I would enjoy or something I wouldn't enjoy, while still enjoying Pokemon as a whole. So I think that's something that people need to distinguish, where just because I'm not a fan of what they did doesn't mean I don't like Pokemon or I hate them or anything like that. Because just from what I saw, I just thought it was very expected. They didn't do anything new, other than I will say that with the CGI that they used for the introduction to the starters, I thought that was neat there. But I mean, as far as everything that we saw, I could have said like, okay, we're gonna expect the region, we're gonna expect the starters, we're gonna expect the original or like the new protagonists, and that'll probably be it. And that's exactly what we got. So I was hoping, because this is the first time we're going to a home console, even though it's portable, that we would be able to get some kind of a brand new aspect to the game or experience to it. And I just thought, well, this looks just like Sun and Moon. I thought maybe we would get a new art style, but the art style looks exactly the same. So I don't know if Pokemon is just so comfortable with what they're doing, where they know they're making money on it, they don't need to take chances on it. So they're just comfortable with the niche market that they have.
Honestly, I think
go ahead.
A lot of the sprite aesthetics are definitely a lot different. Like if you compare like Pikachu's sprite from Pokemon Sun and Moon over to Pokemon Let's Go, you can see a shading difference, and you can see a bunch of like really great differences. So kind of agree with you, kind of don't. I mean, I know that like the trainer models are kind of similar, but they're definitely a lot more rich looking, and they're definitely like a lot more like lively.
Okay.
I think, it's worth noting as well, because as far as I'm concerned, so Ultra Sun and Moon, that was created by like the novice team at Game Freak, and nobody, like Junichi Masuda and all the big guys, they weren't worried about that game too much. Sun and Moon, they were working on, but I don't think, it's fair to say that they just wanted to bank on what will make them money, because I feel like at the time they started development on this game, they were probably already working with a certain package of assets that they couldn't really change too much. You know what I'm saying? Like they had already been working with what they made in X and Y. And plus, you got to remember, too, in Sun and Moon, they had all those like 3D models that they never ended up using until Let's Go for the first 150. Yeah, right? So it's like, if you have those walking around with you, I don't even know if we'll even get that in this game, but regardless, it's like they have that work already done for years, so I don't think they're going to just like throw it all away necessarily, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when they first made those 3D models all the way back in Pokemon X and Y, they knew that they were like future proof, like they were going to age very well. So all they really had to do was just add some new lighting effects and maybe texture.
Now, I would say, are you tired of the 3D models being the same? Do you feel like we need at least a new pose or just something different than just seeing
pose? Definitely,
yes,
definitely, because some of them just look weird, like the flying Pokemon. We haven't had sky battles in years. Why do some Pokemon still flap their wings dumb like that?
My question is why is Purloin on two legs when it's supposed to be quiet?
Oh, Electros looks terrible.
That pisses me off.
Electros, that's
terrible. Oh my god.
Okay. Electros looks interesting. I wouldn't say it looks terrible, but
Typhlosion needs to have the flames on him. Like he just looks so plain.
I think Typhlosion looks better as a quadruped, not a bipedal.
There was a great video. I think it was True Green. He did a post on Twitter where I referenced it in my video, where it showed how big of a pose or animation, not full, I'd say more pose change does to the Pokemon. And one of the examples was Typhlosion, where the regular Typhlosion that we see doesn't have the fire coming out of its back unless if it's using a move, and it just has a very comfortable position in which it's just standing, where if you put it in more of a fierce battle position with the fire always going, you just kind of get more excited about that model or that Pokemon, rather than just, okay, we're just going to see the same thing over and over again as the games continue, where I feel like you need a new change. Now, I made a video, I think it was like last week or something, just some things that I wanted to see change within the game, and one of the things was the battling scene while keeping the same mechanics. And my example was being able to have the Pokemon always facing each other, but allowing them to move across the battling field left or right, so that it feels like it's more natural. And then the second you input a move, it stops where it's doing, it locates where that Pokemon is on the other side of the field, and it does the regular animation that we normally see. So that way we're still able to use the exact same mechanics, but you see a more dynamic battle that is taking place within the game, so that way you kind of get a little bit of the anime feel, which is something I feel like we always want to see in a battle, but it's tough in a turn-based battling style. But if you allow kind of a free roam with the Pokemon to move across the stage where it looks like they're ready to battle, and then once you input a move, I think that will change the battling entertainment factor as far as not only just the competitive style, but just the aesthetics would change the game for a long time. Now, I don't think it's not happening in this game, but I think it is possible to do in future games. What do you guys think?
I feel like once you implement that, we'll suddenly get like like Pikachu use Thunderbolt against Typhlosion, and it'll be like if you swipe fast enough, Typhlosion will dodge it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want that in the game.
Oh well, I mean that would be a different story. That's like you're not
cool
changing the mechanics.
Yeah, it'd be cool, let's go, but not at the.
But like actually seeing the Pokemon dodge the attack rather than just not seeing the attack animation.
Oh yeah, you mean like that animation?
Yeah, just making the battle more lively than just simple. I hit this button, this Pokemon's standing here until I hit this button, do a move, and then it attacks and it takes it. And then another thing would be like HP differences. So if it's at full HP, it's fully upright, ready to battle. Half HP starts to look a little bit weaker. It's showing fatigue on it, and then let's say 10% HP or less, it's on all fours and it's doing its best to stand up. And I feel like they'll
kind of
just
like how they do in the anime.
So
exactly
like progressive models essentially.
Yeah, so you don't need to change any of the mechanics, but just enhance the battling visuals so you're just more immersed into the game. And I feel like that's totally doable. It's not something that like, no, we can't do this. Like, what do you guys think?
It's a matter of time, you know?
Yeah, because there is a lot of Pokemon, so that is something to consider. But I don't know specifically what it's like in Game Freak, but maybe they can just hire some 3D modelers where I'm like, yes, we want you to edit these animations so these characters have the ability to move and dodge.
I think this also goes back to what we talked about earlier with Pokemon having more personality in the actual game. I mean, if I look at the Gen 5 models, like some of the, or not the models, but the sprites they used at the time, those Pokemon had a lot of personality in them. Like they'd do like these very fast kind of animations. Scraggy would do the thing where like he'd drop his pants.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like he doesn't do that anymore in X and Y, or any of the other newer games. Like the models, they're very still for the most part, and like maybe once every 10 to 15 seconds they'll do like a little idle animation.
And that's one of the goals of Pokemon though, because you see them bringing in the Pokemon Refresh or the Pokemon Ami, where they want to make it feel like you have a companion with you. But I feel like they're doing all that stuff outside of where you normally see it most, and that's in battle. So I feel like if you're gonna put all that time and effort into doing these animations within Ami or Refresh, just throw it into the battles instead. I don't really need to bring out my stylus and pet this Pokemon for 10 minutes so I can see 3 hearts pop up around it.
A lot more people would be more excited to see these mechanics brought to battle than they would in like a separate place in Pokemon to me. I mean, you could easily migrate.
Yeah.
I mean, Pokemon to me is great and all. I mean, Sylveon would have to find a different way on how to evolve, but that's okay.
At the end of the day, it's like a side feature. It's not a state.
Exactly, and that's why I like they'll probably do something new for this game, have another side feature, because that just seems to be the theme every generation. They'll come up with something new for the people that are more casual and not into the battling. And I'm into the battling. I'm not like super competitive where I'm doing all the IV and EV stuff and doing uploads on all that stuff, but I still get all of my entertainment out of the adventure and the battling, and not so much the little side aspects where you are like petting your Pokemon and stuff like that, or the contests or whatnot.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But
I'd love to see it, but honestly, I think Game Freak's, technicalities aside, I think Game Freak's just trying to do the bare minimum.
No, and that's what I was gonna say with the whole like future proofing of the models, because it's sort of like I'd love to see that progressive like change in the 3D model as you're battling, but they probably made these like all like the 3D walking animation and then the X and Y models that they've kept reusing. Like they're just future proofing their games, so they don't have to do that kind of work anymore. Plus, like trying to find more people to animate their already existing assets, it's kind of unrealistic, because I think the whole Game Freak team exists or currently has like 140 some odd people working there. So like that's who's been developing these games for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to do that.
And I guess I wouldn't know how much that they are able to make and put back into their employees. So we did get Let's Go. I mean, I don't know how much effort and time they put into it compared to a brand new generation game, since they used a lot of the pretty much all the aspects of Kanto that we already got before. So if they are able to make a decent amount of profit, can they put that back in to hiring more staff to be able to make this possible? I don't know the answer to that, but
like I think they could, but it's just like a matter of, do they really think it's a necessary investment that'll change their profit? You know, like if enough people were like, yo, that's so sick to the point where I want to cop these games now because the Pokemon move more in battle, maybe. But like, you got to think of what it'd be like a selling point from a marketing point
So
of view.
then let me ask this
would
to you
sell
guys. Do you think that that would be a selling point if you saw brand new aesthetics within the battles?
Sorry, you just
up.
lagged a little bit. If I
Yeah.
saw
Oh.
brand, what?
So if you saw within, let's say, the first trailer that you saw brand new battle animations, pretty much a whole new different aesthetic style to the game within the battle situation, would that make you immediately want this game? Would that be a game changer for you? Or let's say even a casual fan, like, yeah, I didn't really get into Ultra Sun and Moon. We'll see. I didn't really like Let's Go, but maybe this game does something new. Would that intrigue someone enough to see brand new battles? Where, I mean, honestly, it'd be the biggest change, I would say, within a Pokemon game, because it's been the same thing within the battles since Gen 1.
I agree with what you're saying. The only thing is, like, for me, I'm an oddball in this instance because I have really specific like feelings towards different games. Like with Sun and Moon, you couldn't pay me enough to play through that again, and it's
No,
like,
I agree. No,
you know, like it's
No.
just to me, if that game didn't already come out, right? If there was no Sun and Moon that ever came out, and I was still like a really like I love Pokemon still, but I'm not like the die-hard fan that I was 2-3 years ago. It's like if I didn't have that disappointment from Gen 7, I think that could be a big selling point in the same way that like Mega Evolution was. Like that could be one of those small new mechanics that sells it, but nowadays, if I see that, like there have to be a lot more to go with it than just, okay, my Pokemon stands up and gets on all fours when he's battling. Although it's cool, it's just one of those small things that I'd be pleased with, but it wouldn't necessarily be like a selling point that would make me want the game even more or less, you know?
Okay.
I think that Ultra Sun and Moon were way better than Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yes.
And the Ultra games are actually some of my favorite games of all time. I prefer Ultra Sun and Moon over Pokemon X and Y, so like don't.
Oh,
get
me
mad
too.
at me.
Me too. Ultra Sun and
Great
Moon should have been the
story.
only games.
I agree. Yeah.
No, it's a definitive story.
Yeah.
I think
Whatever.
you
Play it
can
again?
tell when you
No,
play.
because there are way too many cutscenes. But as a first time
yeah.
playthrough, oh, absolutely. I thought it was great. But now if they allow me to skip cutscenes, then I would have no problem with that either. But I thought Ultra Sun and Moon were great games, but I don't think that they have like the same exact replay value as Pokemon X and Y do.
No.
You know, because X and Y, like they have a pretty bad story.
Oh, God.
But
Yeah.
the gameplay was fun.
I want to destroy the world to make it beautiful again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so stupid. Don't
Games
even
like
get me started.
Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon and like Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2, they all have great stories with a lot of dialogue and cutscenes. They're great for first time playthroughs, but I can't replay them. I mean, I can replay Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2, but I can't replay Pokemon Ultra.
That Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon has a replay value in just in the fact that it's very hard. Like it's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
challenging
true, yeah.
game.
I agree.
They delivered on that aspect, and that's
They
what
did,
we've been
yeah.
asking for.
And people are like, "Oh, hey, we're holding our hands again." Have you ever fought against Ultra Necrozma?
Dude, that's where I left off on the game. I haven't gotten past that. I just stopped
feel like
playing.
Bro, all you need is a dark type. You need a dark type, and you're free. That's all
I
you
got
need.
Metagross, and then Metagross actually did very well for me.
Yo, I got
I feel like the
swept.
hand holding in Gen 7 is very different from the hand holding in Gen 6. The Gen 6 hand holding was just the game's gonna be easy.
Yep.
And then the Gen 7 hand holding is like, hey, I'll just hold your hand through the overworld, but the battles will be tough.
It's like, hey, I'm
a
going to hold your
different
hand. Hey, check this out right here. We have ourselves a totem Pokemon. Remember your type advantages and good luck. See ya.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're also going to give a lot of stat boost by
Pokemon
adding another Pokemon to it, by the way, too.
And totem Pokemon are hella challenging, and that's the one thing I really appreciate about the Ultra games. I may actually play the Ultra games again. God dang, dude.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
they were great.
real quick. I just want to ask: am I the only one that prefers Sun and Moon over Ultra Sun and Ultra
Yes.
Moon?
Yes.
Oh my god!
So you prefer the first ones over Ultra?
I'll tell you why. Okay, Ultra Sun, Ultra
Well,
Moon.
I'm going to mute him. I'm going to mute him, guys.
Gameplay
Jason,
wise,
there's a door. Walk outside and then don't come back until you think about what you just said.
I mean,
gameplay
from a
wise,
plot
those are fun. Yeah, plot wise, Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
Plot wise, Sun and Moon resonated with me. I can't play them again. I'll tell you that. Like, there's no way I can
Okay,
replay
yeah.
those games again. I
like
can
I
replay
think
Ultra and Ultra
Lusamine
Moon,
has a much better motivation in regular Sun and Moon, but everything else
Yeah, I
Ultra
agree.
does better.
Okay, Now this is a good point to talk about this though, because I got to know other people's opinions on this. I don't like the fact, again, as we just said, there's no need for like 4 games for Gen 7, but the problem is like if they just weren't rushed during the 20th anniversary year and they had taken their time and made it a perfect game, think about how differently that would have played out. Because number one, do we even ever find out what the hell the purpose of that alternate dimension was for? Like they never elaborate on that, did they?
We only really know them as Ultra Beasts. I don't think we explored it. We just saw that they can portal here and how we prevent that from happening, I guess.
No, but like, do you remember in the original trailer, they were like, welcome back to Alola in an alternate dimension. And it's like, what is the purpose of this alternate dimension? Like, they never
So they can do a remake
that.
without doing the same exact story, or with doing the same story.
Exactly my point. So it's like, if they didn't have to do that, think about how that story would have played out differently. Because I'm trying to remember now, who replaced Lusamine in terms of being the antagonist in Ultra Sun and Moon? Was that like just the...
I mean, Lusamine
I think it was still Lusamine, yeah.
But like, Frostma was like the main antagonist.
Well, because what replaced the Lusamine fight? Because that was my favorite fight from Sun and Moon, because that was so difficult. That was Frostma that replaced that. Was it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So then, like, yeah, well, but actually, okay, now we'll talk about that in a second. I was going to say which fight's better, but like, still, if they didn't have to do a stupid ass sequel that was just meant as fluff filler content to Let's Go, I feel like the games would have been so much better. Like, just so much better.
Ultra Sun and Moon should have been DLC.
You could tell playing the original Sun and Moon, like when you got to Pony Island, that the game started thinning out pretty fast.
Oh
like,
yeah.
They definitely were running out of time towards the end, and I think Ultra Sun Ultra, you could tell that's where they added the most amount of content, was towards the end. They added the Victory Road trainers, they added the whole Ultra Space thing. There was a lot more content towards the end.
Yeah, and that's why, like, with Ultra Sun and Moon, I think if they were the only games, they would be a lot more praised than how they were perceived. Because, like, think of it this way. Ultra Sun and Moon is still a better remake than Pokemon Yellow or Pokemon Crystal. I mean, Crystal really didn't do anything, but the fact that we are further along the Pokemon, like, generation or whatever, we expect more out of it. Where in Crystal, I mean, what were we, like, 7, 8 years old, something around there? I'm like, oh, it's just a new Pokemon game. Let's play it. But now we're at a point where we are not doing the exact same things. We're smarter about it. Like, I'm like, why should I want to spend like $80 more? Because, you know, as PokeTubers, we're gonna get both games.
I will say though that when Crystal came out as a kid, I was like, these Pokemon move, what the hell? And I'm like, yeah, I forgot.
It was revolutionary.
I forgot about that, because they did that with that third installment. Did they do that with Emerald too?
Yes, they did with Emerald.
Okay, so so that just must have been a trend that they were doing with that, and then we finally got the 3 models.
Platinum as well.
Yes, yeah. I don't remember, but it's something around those lines. But
I definitely agree with what you said earlier, though, where I feel like they were obligated to push out Sun and Moon early because it was the 20th anniversary. And if they had just spent maybe like 6 more months of development time, the games could have came out and could have been perceived like much better by the
absolutely.
And then Ultra wouldn't have existed, and the 7 would have been more solid as a whole.
Because it just sucks, because Nintendo as a company, and not only just Game Freak, but like them too, they rely so much on like stockholders and stuff like that to get their games actually going somewhere and have enough people to finish it on time. And that's the problem, because literally you can see that all of their projects in the last 4 years have felt rushed to shit.
Yep. And that's why, like, I don't need a new Pokemon game every year. I really don't. If it was up to me and they were gonna say, yeah, we're gonna put this game out next year, I would say, nope, bring it out 2 years from now and spend that extra hour refining the game. You don't need a new
Pokemon Battle Frontier.
Yeah, like why are they not adding it out? Are they gonna get to that point where they remade all the games? Now we're gonna go back to the original. Now we're gonna get a remake of Pokemon Yellow, even though we kind of did get that, but like remake of Pokemon Crystal, and then remake of Pokemon Emerald. But I mean, I don't know. I don't need remakes, to be honest with you. Just give me sequels. If you want to go back to that generation or whatever, why do I have to play through the same story? I have no problem going back to the same region over and over again if you give me a brand new story, because that's what I look for with the Pokemon games. So if you're gonna just rehash the same thing, then I could just play the game I already played again. There's no reason to play it again just with higher graphics. It's nice to look at, but it's not needed.
Like, yeah, no, like, well, I think if they did something cool, like how with like in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I guess in Gold Silver, like they go back to Kanto, but it's like modernized 10 years or 5 years in the future, whatever it was. That would be kind of cool if they did that. If they next time they remake Gen 3 again, or if God forbid Kanto, if they do any of that again, then like if they at least give it a different story, I guess I'm about that. But like, you know, realistically, Game Freak, they're gonna just go until they run out of ideas, and then they're just gonna recycle everything again. Yep, that's how it'll go.
And that's why, like, as much as I love Pokemon, I also hate them at the same time, because I see the potential that they have within these games. Like, Pokemon is like one of the greatest ideas ever. It's just more of just do more with it than what has already worked. Like, I just don't understand what's so difficult. I mean, obviously it's going to be more difficult to make a new story within a region, but I mean, that just makes the game so much more fun, and it stands alone from the past game within that same region. So you're playing basically two different games.
It's just because they need to keep appealing to a younger audience, I feel like. And also the problem is too, like, you have, well, I think you made the point earlier, it was something different of just needing to go with what sells well. The problem is there, like, I know they're scared to try new things, and I think that was their biggest thing with like launching Gen 3 was they were worried that it wasn't going to be the same success that Gen 1 was, but they took that magic they applied with Gen 2 not remastering, but like redoing the whole new adventure, new Pokédex, new everything again. If you give somebody that new experience properly, you divide the region up in a way where it's sort of not as linear. Like Hoenn did such a good job at that, I think, just because, you know, you couldn't necessarily, well, actually, could you choose a direction you went at any point in Hoenn, or was it all just a linear path?
I'm pretty sure it was a linear path.
Preset path. You could skip a couple of gyms. Like I think you could.
I think it was the Fort Tree, right?
Yeah, you could also skip Fort Tree till the very end because you didn't know fly.
Yeah.
So,
but even in the way that it was so linear, it still felt like a really open adventure, not in the way that like Sun and Moon did, where that was completely linear and you were basically forced along the whole game with cutscenes. Like,
I'm going to also say that like, music plays a really, really big part in OS too.
I think they know that the games where they try something new often end up being the most divisive. You mentioned Gen 3. A lot of people were not very happy about that when it first came out because it didn't have any connection to Kanto or Johto. It was its own thing. And then Unova was incredibly divisive when it came out. People were like, what do you mean there's no Magikarp, there's no Zubat in this region? Oh my god, what's happening? And then also Let's Go. They tried a few new things. Anytime they'd really try something new, even if it's for better or the worse, you know, people are going to be upset about it sometimes. And
that's just our community.
Pokemon's just kind of like a victim of its own success. Like, you know, they have to put out a game every year, and they have to, like, in a way, back with the same.
Yeah.
They're always going to keep outdoing themselves, basically.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get on to the next topic. So, we already kind of went over all the trailer stuff. So, what are you guys' thoughts on the new starter Pokemon?
Let's go. Travel squad.
Dude, I mean, okay, let's just put it this way. If they didn't unintentionally reveal those secondary typings to us, I will actually be very mad if it's not a water ghost type for Sobble.
Oh, that'd be
water ghost type actually makes a lot of sense, yeah. Water ghost or water dragon?
Yeah, I could definitely see a water. I mean, a dragon starter. I mean, you could give it to Mega Charizard, but let's be real. We should have got that Gen 1, but that's not really what we're worried about right now. But as far as the other starters go, I didn't see the leak for that. So what were the other, or rumor? I'm not getting into that. What was the other two types for the other types? Two? Yeah.
So people are saying Grookey could be grass and rock. And then people are saying Scorbunny could be, they're saying grass and rock because he hits the rock with the stick, right? And then for Scorbunny, it's either fire electric because of how fast he runs, or fire steel because he deliberately runs on the gears.
I'd be okay with that. I mean, we already have Heatran, and you know what that's like in the competitive game. So I think that'd be a pretty
really, really cool. Yeah, I agree.
I'd like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
air balloons ready.
What about the dot design aspect though? What do you guys think of them?
What?
The dot design aspect. So
design aspects. Okay. Grookey's the cutest. Easy.
Yeah,
you can't. Grookey's the cutest.
I don't think such a sad boy though. I mean, you just gotta love him.
I don't know. Dragon is my favorite typing, so I really hope that we get a water dragon typing with that. So Ghost would be cool too.
when I see it so sad, it makes me like, do I even want to battle with it? It's like, I mean, it'd be a cute pet.
You level it up and you make it happy, and then it evolves, and he's such a nice happy boy.
He's just like this.
It's definitely gonna be a nice happy boy. That's pretty much guaranteed.
This
Yeah.
samurai like water dragon thing.
That's an Ash Ketchum Pokemon right there. Like that's a Pokemon that you can.
Oh, absolutely.
That's gonna be one of those. I feel bad for you. Yeah, I'll bring you along. I'm gonna show you what it's like to be a good trainer and everything,
Exactly.
and
and then
develop.
it's gonna get overpowered. And it's gonna be, you know what, buddy? I think you're too strong.
Do you want to stay here in the region?
Oh,
No,
other Sobble? I think you need to watch over these guys, buddy. Time for me to blow another leak and let's go over to Gen 9.
I definitely think Soble's gonna have the best evolution out of all three of them.
I think
feel
with
like,
its design, yes, because it's like it's a lizard that can basically become a dragon, just like what Charmander was in Gen 1.
The leaks for Scorbunny's final evolution.
Careful, not leaks, rumors.
Rumors. Sorry.
Jeremy
they've
Jones,
all been-
come set this down.
They've all
All
been
right, Joe
proved to be
Merrick, I
fake,
feel you,
dude.
buddy. I got you, man. Okay. So
About
the rumors said I think one I saw like Scorbunny with like a jetpack or something. I'm like, that one actually looks
Fake.
kind of
That's
cool.
fake.
I know it's fake, but you know, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, hey,
Okay,
but, like,
okay.
I'm saying like if the design was that, then I would be pretty cool with that.
So I've seen a few concept art of what it could eventually evolve into, and I do like the idea of it becoming something like a soccer player because of its legs. And within the whole UK aspect, I mean, that's just basically, I mean, it's soccer or whatever, football out the rest of the world except for the US, basically. Like that's the sport. So when you see that, I could definitely see as far as that being the more the sporty one, where it turns into something that just gets taller but develops on its legs and uses whatever fire coming out of its legs to make fireballs to go and kick at. I think that'd be a pretty cool concept with it, where at first I wasn't really a fan of the bunny Pokemon, but when I saw what it could eventually turn into, I got more inclined to it, where I actually did a video where I redesigned the starter Pokemon, where I'm more of a fan of fiercer looking Pokemon, where I like a combination of fierce and cute, where if it gets too cute, I don't know if I necessarily want to pick it right away. That's when I kind of have to see what the evolutions are going to be like down the line. But
Bulbasaur, kind of, you know, he's.
But with Gen 1, one of the reasons why a lot of the Pokemon had closer to triangle eyes was due to the limitations of what the Game Boy could handle, which is why they did that. But I think that also creates a good appeal to seeing what exactly how fierce these monsters can become. So they do a good job with the starters, where they look cute, but they also look strong and intimidating. Where if I saw a Charmander or a Bulbasaur on the road, I mean, they're basically dinosaurs, where now we're at a point where they're almost so cute and cuddly where, yeah, you can be a house pet with me. So it's just more of, I wanted to get an idea of where I can kind of combine the cute aspect with the cool aspect, where it could be something where you see that potential of what it could become. But people kind of felt both ways on it, where people who like more of the newer generation style with more of the circular eyes, where I'm not really a fan of, there's kind of a divide from like the fans with more of the fiercer designs and ones with the cuter designs. And I just try to do my best to kind of get a design that could appeal to both audiences. But a lot of that does decide on the style of the eyes. If the eyes are more fierce, it's going to turn off people. If the eyes are more circular and cute, it's going to turn on people. So it's just more of like, everyone has their own design style preference, and it's just kind of what is more of interested within Japan. I feel like that's kind of their market, and then hope everyone else likes it after that.
I don't really know so much about the eyes. I was just going to chime in about the fact that there's that theory where, you know, like if you're trying to figure out what they'll look like, inevitably it's still hard to tell at this point. But you know, the designs are based off like the 3 different like sources of entertainment within the UK. So there's like theater, and you guys know that theory. Like if we have that kind of thing go down, that'd be pretty cool, because then at the end of the day, the concept of Scorbunny being just kind of like a sort of like a jackass kind of like snide looking character that's just, you know, the what do I want to call that? I don't know, like the jokester of the
So it could be like a Chimchar or
exactly.
like that style.
Like or like
a Trico, all that stuff.
Exactly, just a smirky kind of like outlier of the bunch. But then you have like Sobble being the kind of like, you know, subtle. No one really wants to pick it at first, but then they'll regret that decision later. And then Grookey's like, I fucking love this thing with every ounce of my being because it's so cute. Like that's how most people's sort of see the design. So if you want to base off that, if it like let's just say if that theater theory was right and it was like Sobel's based off like Shakespeare's plays and stuff like that, like that'd be sick.
Oh, you want that?
Man.
Oh, I don't want that.
It'd be cool because he'd go from tragedy to comedy. So yeah,
exactly. And plus, it could even be like a thing where it's like, okay, well, as he evolves, he gets rid of that fear of his stage fright. So it's like he becomes more fierce and cool on stage. Like I like that concept.
See, I just want him to be a badass gorilla. That's all I really want.
Sobel?
Oh no, not Sobel. Sorry, I meant Groupie. Well, isn't sorry, Sobel. I'm still trying to remember the names. Sobel, isn't that supposed to be like a Loch Ness monster? That's kind of what I got out of it.
We don't know yet.
I hope they say that's like a legendary idea. Like,
I was gonna say,
because isn't that like a European thing, the Loch Ness monster?
Yeah. It's like Scotland.
Based off that.
Okay, so I mean that could be a potential the way it goes. I mean, I've seen a lot of fan art. There was a really good dragon-looking one. It had like fins everywhere.
That one's so cool.
Yeah,
so it's a possibility, but I would still like to say that it's like one of those random.
I think it's
not like a box art legendary, but just one of the random ones that say Sally. That
I would rather it be something that's not like if they're gonna do a third game, then they could do like a Loch Ness thing if that's what the route we want to go. But I'd rather it be a case where it's like not an unfinished story like Zygarde, but they have it shoved in some random cave underwater that you got to use Whirlpool and all these other things to go through, and then you can finally get there after you've done everything else in the game. Something like that. Like I want it to feel like a black and white experience. I know that's not what we were just talking about, but it's just like if this game doesn't feel immersive and like you're actually on this adventure with your character, then I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. Like I just don't want it to be another Sun and Moon.
Nice if they actually use like the post game story to like build up to that third legend, so you didn't have to have that game. Because like the separate game, like Platinum or say Black 2 White 2, is usually just used for you to get context about Giratina or Kira or Zygarde or whoever it is. So honestly, I feel like as a post game thing, you could have a whole plot centered around that third legendary, whether it's the Loch Ness or do.
Okay, yeah.
What if the third legendary is Zygarde?
I would be a son of a gun if it actually was.
I don't know. I just thought of like Power Rangers, how it always transform into like different monsters. So you'd have like the dragon that turns into a Megazord, basically. I really don't know what to think of.
They're just gonna shove them in a cave in every region until the end of time.
And they'll never discuss it. They'll just like, yep, it's there. Yeah, we're not going to tell you why.
They'll be like, this Pokemon watches over the Kalos region, but he is in every other region.
And just to add insult to injury, we're not going to let you guys reset for a shiny form either. I mean, it's going to be locked.
We're going to show you the shiny form, but we're just not going to let you have it.
It's going to be really
and then
cool
you can get it from our crappy event if you want.
Yeah.
Let me reset for it, dang it.
Just put in a code. There you go. Congratulations. Glad you had a good time.
It would literally be better if they just like locked it outside of the map, so like you can't even like get to it. It just stays outside of the map in an unplayable area.
That's annoying. Oh man. No thanks, dude.
Yeah, maybe we'll take the train to get to that.
Oh my god.
I was about to ask, you guys think we're going to Kalos?
Yeah, if you buy the DLC season pass or some shit.
Lit.
For $15.99 for 3 months.
I could actually, I could see them having like a $30 DLC down the line. Be like, the train goes to Kalos now.
I would buy that. I just hope that like, the online isn't laggy, like how I paid $20 for Nintendo Online and then have all my Smash matches lag.
Oh,
yeah. Well,
even with me being on wired, it's
Thankfully, lag in a Pokemon battle isn't the biggest deal.
No, but it was embarrassing that when you'd bring a legendary Pokemon, the frames would drop significantly on a DS. I'm like, my God, is it that difficult to have a little bit more RAM?
Even on the new DSs, like, I mean, the 3DS's power just isn't strong anymore. Like, it's outdated.
I remember one of my old friends doing a video when I came. He found that you could get the 3DS like an absolute lowest frame rate if you had a triple battle with
six Moltres,
tiny Moltres with Sandstorm up at the same time or something crazy like that.
Oh my God!
You drop it down to like 13 or 14 FPS.
Your cartridge just burns into flames.
Literally. It's like Moltres is too much of a phoenix for our Sun and Moon games. Even Pokemon Sun has difficulty absorbing.
That's why they killed triple battles, man.
Yeah, it was. I mean, even that, like, it was just like, oh, we already put 2 in. Let's try 3, see what happens. And it's just,
and then they tried fucking horde encounters.
Oh, you have to wait like 10 minutes to be able to use a move. Oh.
Six Pokemon on the screen at once, bro.
It'd just be sitting there calculating the speed stats. And it's like, move already.
Yeah, the only decent thing is if you just ran into like a random shiny. That's like the only benefit out of it. Because I ran into like 3 or 4 just doing it just because I just ran into it and like, oh, all right, I'll take this. Just got to knock 5 out first.
Tried horde trainer battles in Oras with the magma grunts or whatever, and they all sent out Puchianas and they all use Intimidate 5 times.
See, I didn't mind that because it made it difficult. Like, yeah, it sucked, but I'm like, all right, if you're gonna make things difficult for me, fine.
The battle started 2 minutes ago, and I still haven't selected a move.
You spend a minute just being like, all the stat increases on the Pokemon from each individual one. It's like a 30-second text block that won't disappear.
And then you have to, after they do all like the scary face or whatever intimidates on you, then you gotta go to switch out. Then they do it all again. And yeah, it was a tasking thing, but I don't know if it whenever a Pokemon game gives me a chance to make it harder for me, I'm like, I have to take it. Otherwise, I know what to expect going forward, and it's not too difficult. But I don't know. So let's get into the next topic, and that's going to be what features do you still hope for in Sword and Shield? Now, this isn't what you want. It's more, or well, it is what you hope for is different than what's realistic. So let's try to keep it realistic. So what do you think that they can still do that is plausible to bring into the new games?
I already got one. I want the Pokeathlon Dome back.
The Pokeathlon, is that from Gen 4?
Yeah. Think about it. It makes a lot of sense because I mean, like you have all these sports arenas out there. You have gym. Apparently, you have gym challenges. And like you saw how the trainer protagonist went inside of the gym and he was like in like a soccer uniform. It's perfect.
Oh yeah.
I
would just like any kind of side event back. Like you used to have contests, you used to have the Pokeathlon Dome, and we haven't had that in the last 2 generations. So.
Literally, just think about how much content Heart Gold Soul Silver had though as a whole. Like that game was amazing for that.
It was packed to the brim, man.
Pokeathlon was definitely the best of the side quests or side whatever.
Excuse me, Pokemon World Tournament. I think you mean
okay.
That was a pretty good one.
That's a whole nother thing altogether. That reigns supreme for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Kalos and Alola didn't have like a side event for you to do. It was all just battling. So I hope they bring that back. Actually.
Yeah. Now that I think of it, yeah. Did they not bring in any side mechanic to the game?
Frontier, nothing like that. I don't think, anyways.
I was low key hoping to like Rhyhorn race.
Yeah, that could have been an option.
One of Generation 6's biggest complaints was the fact of like Generation. I think X and Y had the Battle Maison, but besides that, there was no Battle Frontier in Oras, and everyone was like,
dude, they super butthurt. Yeah, that back. The Battle Frontier was great.
Yeah, and it's not like it had to be only an Emerald. Just it's a Gen 3 thing in general. I don't know why they wouldn't add it in there. I mean, if they're looking for more stuff to do, especially within a remake, it was almost like, why wouldn't you do that?
Our argument was that if we put it here, then no one would go back to play Gen 3 games. So I'm like, no one's gonna go back and play the Gen 3 games. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the biggest thing with remakes is you never play the old game ever again. Because I mean, why?
That's not true. Nah,
you don't think so?
I still play Gold and Silver.
I play Gold.
You would play Gold and Silver over Heart Gold Soul Silver?
Easily. I prefer the originals over the remix.
Why?
That's
I need to know that. Why?
Nostalgic.
Because I loved Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Music. Throwback. I don't know.
So is it more of just nostalgic? More nostalgia reasons?
It's my first ever Pokemon game. So
okay, so then that makes sense. But I'm talking about
Gen 4 is really, really slow too.
Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Platinum actually fix this. I'm not saying that the remakes are bad. I just prefer the originals. Like I love the remakes. I think the remakes are great. I appreciate anything. I appreciate any kind of remix, even Diamond and Pearl remakes, if we ever get those. And I'm not a big fan of Diamond and Pearl.
I would love Diamond and Pearl remakes.
That'd be sick.
They would just fix the games being slow, and then you'd be able to
exactly it.
And then on 3D graphics.
All right, so let's say I'm assuming we will get it this generation because that just seems to be the trend.
2020.
So we get Heart Gold Diamond and Pearl remakes. What do you want them to do with the remakes to make it different enough from the originals?
I don't want any Let's Go stuff, that's for sure.
Oh.
No. Well, I definitely want the Platinum Pokedex, because I feel like the Diamond and Pearl Pokedex was like one of the worst Pokedexes ever. It had
Oh, the
only
only fire type you can get
Yeah,
besides
yeah.
Infinite was Rapidash. That shit was no.
that was
Yeah.
all you had.
Pokemon hates fire types. You can get like 3. You get to choose between like 2 or 3 per generation.
But Diamond and Pearl was one of its absolute worst. You had a fire type
you had
Elite Four member. and he
Houndoom
couldn't
as
use it.
well.
Houndoom isn't
I don't
platinum.
understand by
It was
like
on Platinum. Oh.
Yeah, it was platinum only. Yeah.
I don't understand why they locked like 30 to 40 of the new Gen 4 Pokemon to post game. Like I was like,
Yeah, that was
A lot of
awful.
fire Pokemon.
What was the
post-
Because that's what we were all looking
does.
for.
Wait, how much shit was locked to post game? Was it just mostly legendaries?
That's
all
the
the
entire
evolutions except for like Honchkrow and Magius,
Honchkrow, I think, was Pokemon Diamond exclusive.
Yeah,
And
Honchkrow's
then
Diamond
Miss
exclusive,
Magius and Honchkrow.
and
Yeah,
then everything
definitely.
else was locked to post.
Yeah.
Wait, but Miss Magius doesn't need something to evolve from?
Yeah, it needs like a dark stone.
Dusk Stone.
Dusk
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 Stone.
Stone, yeah.
Oh, okay. But that was post game?
No, that was main game. That was main
okay.
game.
But like
Everything
the
else was
Magmarizer, Electrizer stuff, that's post game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I had an issue with Black and White was they had a lot of great designs closer to the end of the game. That's just my opinion than the beginning of the game. So like I'd say like first 5 gym badges, I didn't really connect with a lot of the Pokemon that were able to offer for me to be able to catch, but there were so many cool ones like Rufflet. Like that's one I wanted to catch right away. I mean, you could freaking have an eagle for
54,
a Pokemon, but you get it like at the 7th gym and it evolves at like what was it, like 40 something or
It's
I'm
54.
50 something, bro.
so like why would I not want to catch that like right away and then kind of develop it rather than catch all the Pokemon that I like, or even like Bisharp and stuff like that. That was like around the 6th gym badge. So
Yeah,
just
it's
catching a lot of
literally
those
on the
cooler
last
Pokemon. I would just wanted them more at the beginning of the game, and that brings me to what an open world could do for Pokemon. I mean, I feel like that's something that always should be, or like always implemented to the games, because I feel like, I mean, it's an adventure. Why wouldn't we want to be able to go wherever we want and stuff like that? What do you guys think?
I don't know if you guys talked about this because I was away for a bit, but the rumors are that it's going to be open world, yeah?
You still think so? I mean, we haven't gotten a confirmation whether it's not or it is. So I mean, there's still possibility for it.
Judging by the map, I want to say it's also like it's not open world, but somewhat open world because at least like the grass, water, and presumably fire gym, they seem to be so close together, but like kind of late. It takes some time to get to them by the looks of it, and I could definitely see it being like, okay, take these 3 in any order you want, or even like the first 6 gyms.
Yeah, and I was really hoping they'd do that with like Kala Island on Sun and Moon because they had grass, water, fire, and I was like, oh, awesome! You can just let us do them in any order you want, but you have like the stupid barrier that like they wouldn't let you do them out of order. It's like,
Yeah, and it's like that linear, stupid, watered down story I was talking about. Like,
and it doesn't matter which order you do them in because you can't leave the island until you do the grand trial anyway.
yeah.
Oh, well.
I mean, if they put it to you this way, I think the reason, and God forbid I say this, I know the comments are already coming. Just like Kanto, if they did it like that, like in the sense where no, but think about that though. That's why that game did really well. I think is from Saffron, you could do whatever you wanted. You could just go to whatever direction. But the only problem is the levels didn't scale. If the levels scale in this game, then I don't see an issue with that at all. I think that'd be awesome.
Well,
And Let's Go, you can fight Blaine as the 3rd. It's possible.
Wait, how?
Let's go. You can fight Blaine as 3rd?
Yeah, because there's no HMs. You just get the secret technique, whatever.
well,
After
when do
beat
you
Misty,
get that
you can
again?
do it. Yeah, after you do Misty, you can do like all of the gyms.
You can
There's
surf?
no-
When do you?
yeah, you can get the secret technique. There's no HM though. Like,
Where
don't
do you
have
get the secret technique from for surf? I forget.
surf?
I thought that was
believe-
by like Fuchsia or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in Fuchsia. But like you can go there. but,
Oh,
like,
right. You
have
just
fight
talked to the
gym.
guy. Yeah, you just talked to some guy and he
Yeah,
gives it
yeah.
to you in Fuchsia. Oh, he's not. I didn't think about this. Wow.
Yeah, it's actually possible. You can go.
So, but
do
you'd have
Blaine
to-
as their gym leader.
You'd have to do like the whole Team Rocket Lavender Tower Town event.
Yeah,
and
you
then-
had to do the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
game still, but you could actually do Blaine as 3rd.
Damn.
You just
Well,
had like
yo.
you just have a giant gap. And just have everything.
We're too old for our own good, man. We took it in the exact order because we knew that was the order.
But I mean, check this out. Like, look how just listen how easy it is to be able to make an open world. So the levels can be decided depending on how many gym badges you have. You can go wherever you want. Let's say you have 1 gym badge. All wild Pokemon are going to be level 10 and under. We can even make it less because it's 1 gym badge or whatever. Okay. And then let's say we also advance in the story. That can also decide as well, because there's always going to be checkpoints in the story depending on how long it is. Let's say we go over whatever let's just say it's Team Rocket. Let's say we beat Team Rocket a couple times from the first cities that we kind of are able to walk into. That will also decide how strong everything's going to be around us. So we can decide when we want to continue with the main story or go through the badge route first, and that will kind of elevate or lower the level cap for all those Pokemon. And with that, I mean, there really isn't more to that. I mean, the biggest thing is a level cap. So if you're able to dictate that with the gym badges and or main storyline, you can make anything work. So if I want to go all the way to the northern mountains first and catch that specific Pokemon so I can use it longer on my journey, why wouldn't I be able to have that ability to do so? I mean, I feel like it's right there.
It's funny you say that, because in Pokemon Origins, they actually do this, because I don't know if you guys remember.
No, I do. Yeah.
It came to, Brock had different Pokemon. He's like, oh, is this your first badge? Oh, these Pokemon will do right here then.
Of course, the anime gets an open world.
Levels. Yeah, but we don't. I don't know if it's started to introduce or whatever, but
I mean, is it as difficult?
Really good.
Is it any more difficult than what I said? I mean, I don't feel like it is.
I mean, I agree. It's definitely easy to do. I don't know why they don't do it. All I have to do is just change the Pokemon's levels and maybe a couple of the Pokemon they use, and then that's it.
And I think it'd be even easier for kids, though. So let's say a 7-year-old, I don't know how to get past this, but I can go all the way over here to this city and catch new Pokemon and still take on this gym, where I feel like that makes things even easier for kids that are coming into the franchise. Because, I mean, we've all gotten to a point when we're like 6 or 7 or whatever. Like, I don't know how to get past this, so I kind of just stop playing the game. I'll just do whatever I want as far as, like, that I've gotten. But with an open world, I mean, the kids, they can do anything they want. They can go take on different gym badges. They can go catch the Pokemon they want. They can go take on Team Rocket or whatever the antagonist is for the region. I mean, it just seems like there is not a single con about it.
And they could even do like one gym is always the last gym. If they wanted to like lead you up to the league or have like an evil plot with the team that like surrounds that gym or something, they could do that too.
Yeah, I mean, like, can you think of a reason why they would still not want to do that?
Extra programming.
Keep saying it's for like they keep saying it's for like the kids and stuff, but what I don't understand is, bro, if anything, when we were kids, we didn't have the internet like as much like as we do now. We couldn't look up things, but these kids, if they get lost, all they have to do is a quick Google search and they got their answer.
And the Gen 1 games don't tell you anything about where to go.
Back to Gen 1.
That's why you can do Sabrina or play in any order you want. But yeah, you're saying?
Yeah, and I was just saying, just back to Gen 1, where we're going to get all the people Gen 4 later. Like, what do you mean Gen 1? Why do we got to keep going to Gen 1?
Oh, man. They don't understand.
But, all right, so let's move from the gym leaders that we got in Gen 1 through Gen 6 to Gym Masters, where I don't know if you guys saw the tweet or not from Nintendo America, where they posted about us taking on Gym Masters. So all the theory channels, this is your... Yeah, go ahead. For all the theory channels, this is your time to shine. What is the difference between Gym Masters and Gym Leaders?
All I think it is because they had trials in Generation 7, right? I don't think they're trying to scrap the idea completely. Whatever Gym Masters is, I feel like it's a combination between old gym battles or gym leaders or whatever and trials. I feel like, if anything, we might have like a Pokeathlon sort of minigame or like a trial like minigame that leads up to a battle against the Gym Master. So it's a combination of both is what I think it is. But I don't know, to be honest. It could be anything. It could be like a Gym Master just commands a buffed up Pokemon, but that's exactly like trials. But yeah, it could be anything.
I actually just made a video about this too. I would love to see the Gym Masters do like a brand new kind of battle style. Maybe even like a triple battle if they bring that back. We are on the Switch, so I think the console would actually be able to handle it this time. We do have that new little logo for the gyms, and they do have like the 3 dots on the logo or whatever it is. So I feel like that could maybe be an allusion to, hey, these are triple battle. That would be really cool, actually. Just a 3v3, and maybe your Pokemon is like a specific role on the team. He has like Earthquake or something. Hit all your Pokemon at once.
Into that is in the trailer they showed Lucario versus Tyranitar battle. So I don't know if you wanna. What do you think about that?
I think I don't know. I think they might just be holding something back. Like there's just one scene from the battle or something.
This is okay. This could be a cool idea. I just sort of thought of this offhand, but I was like a random stupid point saying it'd be cool if they had more than 6 Pokemon. Although that's unrealistic to expect because then that could make the game a little too difficult. What if they had it set up where it was like the Battle Frontier, where they had like an arsenal of like 20 different Pokemon, but then they pick specific ones based on your team?
That would be really cool, actually.
Right?
I would be down for that.
Sick concept.
Oh,
Dude, you need to pitch that to Game Freak. That would be awesome.
They would
think
probably
about
need
how
a really
amazing
big
that would be.
Pokedex for the region, though. Like they need like 500 Pokemon.
Let's say
No, not even, because they could just use old Pokemon. That's exactly the reason why they have Tyranitar and Lucario in the trailer. But think about that though, because if they did that, I mean, they already said before that they want to make this game for like the veteran players. So it is going to be hard, but we have to sort of determine how hard that will be. If they did something like that, that would be actually like it's solving whoever was saying that thing about like having a guide. It'd be so easy to walk through the game. That would be solved immediately for the gym leaders, because it's like you don't have a set strategy for how you could beat that player or beat that person. You would end up having to just go based on whatever your team is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh man, if they picked a team that countered my team, I'm all. Oh, bro, let's go.
Think about that. That'd be so cool.
Like say you fight a dark type gym leader. I know they've never done dark type gym, but say if you get Grookey or something, he has like a Houndour, and then maybe if you choose what's the fire one? Score Bunny? He has a Carvana instead, or something.
Dude,
like that. Like
it would be so hilarious though, because not everyone watches the trailers and like listens to what all these games are about. So let's say they get these games and they lose the first gym master. I'm like, oh shoot, all right, I need to get this water Pokemon because they completely took me out, so I need to take out his fire Pokemon. And he goes back in there, and then they have a counter to that again. It's like, fuck! And that just sounds like it would just be so funny to people that wouldn't expect that, but I think it'd be a great surprise. Like, man, I really got to think about this.
It'd also be hard to implement though, because it's like some gym leaders, not all of them, but some gym leaders do definitely use like some kind of strategy. Like at least in like, I don't know, in Charon and Black 2 and White 2.
Oh yeah.
All his strategy is just use workup. So that you can implement with any gym leader. But there are other gym leaders, like, I don't know, let's say someone uses Trick Room, and their entire like set of 10 or 20 Pokemon, whatever, they'd have to be Trick Room. I don't know. It's a little difficult.
I would like it if each gym had like a separate battle style. Like maybe one gym's a double battle, one's a single battle, triple battle, things like that.
Rotation battles,
Think about Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, where like dudes would do these strategies. Like one Pokemon will protect and the other one would use Earthquake or something crazy.
Yeah.
They had some good go on there. Or one would use Rain Dance and the other would use.
Yeah.
Trade and Liza the only instance of a non-single gym battle?
I don't. No. Wasn't there something in Black and White? I feel like there was. That was.
If you're talking about Crest, Chili, and Silent, that wasn't a thing, man. That was just
it's just Tate and Liza. And the anime, they do double battles sometimes for gym.
Yeah, bro. I like that idea. I think they should definitely implement more battle styles into the game. Into the gyms, I mean.
Are we good? I don't know. I just heard a flicker. Mystic, are you back in?
Yeah, I'm back in. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get to the next one because I wanted to wait for you to pop back in for this, and I'm actually gonna pop out because I got to pee like racehorse right now. But rumor time. Thoughts on potential armored evolution or just the whole evolution mechanic that will be coming to this new game? And I'll be right back.
Mega Evolutions. I want Mega Evolutions back. I don't want Armored Evolutions. I feel that the entire metagame. I'm sorry for interrupting, but like, give me like 2 seconds to rant about this. So the whole entire thing about Armored Evolutions, right? We don't need a new competitive form in the mega and the meta. We already have all these mega forms to keep up with. Armored Evolutions now. How are you going to implement both of these into like the competitive meta? How is this even going to work out? I think it's a really, really cool aesthetic, but I don't like the fact that we're going to be getting a brand new form that kind of reminds me of Digivolving. I mean, Mega Evolution, sure, you know, like it's similar to Digivolving, but I mean, nothing.
Did
like
you
that.
hit armor? You're copying Digimon straight off the
You
bat.
literally are. Like if we get these armored evolutions, I'm going to shake my head and be like, this is freaking stupid.
I don't even like the term armor evolution.
No.
Because if you're just
I
putting
hope to
armor
God that
on
we don't get
Pokemon,
this.
it's not even evolving. It's just getting armor.
Well, see, was there ever a time where there was a mechanic like that was just like exclusive? Actually, yeah, there definitely was something that was exclusive to the story mode that wasn't like online.
About trials?
No,
Like-
but no, like I swear it was in black and white. Wasn't there something? There was a form or something that you could use in game, but you couldn't use it online. Was it something to do with Zekrom or Kyurem or something like that? I know there's something I'm thinking of. Shit.
The Keldeo forms?
Keldeo, yeah.
Is it
Keldeo?
Keldeo? Wait,
Yeah,
what's
Keldeo has a Resolute form.
Flute. Yeah, where he has like 3 hairs sticking down. He has a bigger horn.
is that banned from online or?
I just wouldn't show up on 5.
I don't know. I don't know if that's what I'm thinking, but I feel like I remember something where there was a case where I don't know why. Was it? No, you could use Cure in black and white online too. There's something I'm thinking of, but either way, just imagine it's a concept where you have a like campaign or story mode only kind of feature, so it's not like brought anywhere outside of that. So it's not going to break the meta and change that up entirely. Does that seem plausible for something Game Freak would do, or do you think they'd have to find a way to incorporate it?
Maybe,
I don't know,
but like
they would want to limit play.
Yeah, well, there's a limitation. I don't think they want to limit themselves either. But also, it's just like when I hear armor evolutions, like you guys let me know what you guys think. But I'm like, how are you gonna make this different from Megas? If this is like a stat increase, let's say I don't know, you get defensive armor for like Charizard or something. Okay, you make it more defensive Charizard, but in what sense is this different from regular like our Mega Evolution or like?
It's really not, because maybe that's what they'll do to try and give justice to some of those Pokemon that we wanted Megas for but never got, like Arcanine as an example, or something like that, where they'll be able to
make Arcanine.
dude, right? But I mean, I don't know. Like that could be the concept behind it. Is it's the same thing as Mega, same kind of stat boost, same kind of whatever, but it's just called something different. Maybe. I don't know.
Are you guys seeing the rumor of the elementals in Armor Evolution, where it's like there's these legendary Pokemon called elementals, and then what it is you have 5 Pokemon elemental on your team, and then if you want to, you can equip the elemental onto like Charizard or another Pokemon, whatever, and then instead of having 6 Pokemon, you have 5, and Charizard's typing gets it's changed from fire to like fire steel, or fire flying to fire steel or whatever.
That would be
it just gets
Ooh, that would be dope. Sorry, I'm back, but
I'm
would
thinking,
break
I'm
some
thinking
shit.
of kind of like the X and Y anime, where I don't know if you guys watched the X and Y anime, but basically,
No.
if a Pokemon wanted to Mega Evolve, the way they would hold the like Mega Stones or whatever, they'd have like armor strapped to their body with the Mega Stone inside of the armor, like Alon's Charizard or stuff like that.
That's cool.
So I feel like they could do something like that. Like maybe you put armor on the Pokemon, armor holds the Mega Stone or something like that.
How is it different from Megas?
I mean, it would still be Mega Evolution, but maybe I don't know. Maybe just give like slight defense buff before you Mega Evolve. I don't know.
it could just be something like Digimon, where they have the Mega Armored Digi Evolution or whatever.
Hey,
and
don't
you just
say
And then the
Digimon,
armor just
don't
like
say
disappears
Digimon.
after the evolve.
Man, if you said Digimon.
I mean, hey, they already copied the Mega Evolution. Now we're gonna get the Armored Digi Evolution. So they're probably just pulling it out of their book. But I mean, I'm not mad. I think it'd be a cool concept, but I don't think it's something that's inventive from other franchises.
Before you pop back in, like I was suggesting the idea, like if it was just sort of like a way to pay justice to some of the Pokemon that were supposed to, or we wanted to get Mega Evolutions but never did, they could basically make Armor the same thing, same stat boosts and all the same changes as Megas, but it's just a different kind of evolution. But when I think of Armored Pokemon, I just think of Mewtwo from the first movie. That's all I can think of. So if it looks anything like that, then I guess I'm okay with it, maybe. But
If Armor Mewtwo becomes canon, I will be like, actually crazy.
I'm down for that, honestly.
So
gone back in the
if we
movie,
were to
sure.
get that, so would the Armored Evolution be a temporary evolution?
Yeah, like I mean, I wouldn't want it to be online personally, unless it was the exact same thing as Megas,
Okay.
because then it's balancing the meta, right? Like if you start making, like all these Pokemon get +6 defense right off the bat and blah blah blah, like you're just breaking shit that's unnecessary at that point. Then it's just not usable.
Yeah.
We already have Megas. We already have Z moves. I don't want anything else, man.
I mean, I honestly, I am a big fan of Alola. I understand all the issues with it, but I really was a big fan of when they were bringing in different variants to the forms of original Pokemon. So where we're getting all the Alolan forms. I mean, seeing something around those lines again, I don't know if it's going to be repeated. I know they did it with within the same generation where we had it with Oras and we had it with X and Y, but since this is a new generation, we have to assume there's going to be a new mechanic. But just seeing a new life being brought to older Pokemon, especially ones that aren't as competitive, that's one of the gripes that I have with some of the evolutions, where some of the Pokemon that got Mega Evolutions, some of those Mega Evolutions still weren't that great, where it could have been just regular evolutions.
Electric and Houndoom? Trash.
Mega Salamence is awful.
Yeah, and then once you did that, I feel like you can no longer go back to it and give it another evolution. I feel like you should always get to the point where it can max out its potential at its third stage, or third stage or second stage.
Just a regular evolution.
Yeah, because you have the basic, and then you have stage 1, and then stage 2. And once it's maxed out there, then give it some kind of a mega evolution if it's not competitively viable. So I think that's how Pokemon should go about it. Where like with Houndoom, you could just gave it an evolution and kept its stats that way, and if you still didn't feel like it was competitive enough, then eventually a mega evolution or whatever evolution should be enough to put it into the field. Because I would just like to see, like when I see any of like the Pokemon World Tournament stuff like that with the VGC, you kind of see a repeat of the same Pokemon. I mean, we have freaking 900 probably Pokemon by the time all the Pokemon come out for this generation. I would love to see teams that have different Pokemon every single time you have a battle or whatnot. Now, I understand there's always going to be a meta, but I would like to see it be more expanded to allow more Pokemon to be versatile and make it viable for more teams than just a handful of maybe 12 Pokemon or less that you're going to see in tournaments.
Well, that's what Sun and Moon did a really good job of. I feel like Gen 5 and Gen 7, as much as I don't want to admit it for Gen 7, they were the best like generations for competitive because they added in so many new abilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like even with
like just
average
Pokemon,
a Z move was enough to be able to help it out because the Z move was so strong.
Right.
Gen 6 was easily the worst Z move though, and I really don't think it's that special. It's like, oh hey, this Pokemon's getting this Z move, but I mean like, you only get to use it once per battle. It's got a cool animation, but I think a transformation would just be like a lot better for it.
Mm-hmm. Now, permanent or regular, or permanent or temporary?
A temporary kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah,
like a mega form. Like I like megas more like Z moves.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, megas are definitely like much more flashy, and people like them more.
The one thing I like
Z moves just because
Gen 7.
They have cool effects and they buff moves that weren't originally good. Like what Z Splash like gives you +3 speed or something crazy like that.
That's cool.
Z Happy Hour like raises all of your stats or something crazy. So, Z Hypnosis on Zerka. Love that. Put your opponent to sleep and you get like buff speed.
Yeah.
So it buffs a lot of moves that, like
yeah, and it was cool because you could put it to any Pokemon. So I'd be like, okay, this Pokemon isn't viable, but if I throw a Z move on it, I can make it work and try some new things out.
Yeah, it's a good mix-up.
Yeah, so I don't know. Do you guys think that we will see any of those mechanics into this game? Or if we do see it, will it probably be a post-game thing? Kind of like what we get with Mega Evolutions.
The interesting thing about this, about the new protagonist, that they're not wearing any kind of like a ring, like a Mega Ring or a Z Ring, at least yet.
Were they wearing it in the initial trailers of X and Y?
In the initial trailers of both X, Y, and Sun and Moon, you could clearly see that they were wearing rings, and they aren't in this game. Which leads me to believe that if they have Megas or Z moves, that it's probably going to be either late game or post.
If I may chime in, I think this could be worth adding into it. Like, I think it was Lox and I saw make a theory somewhat similar to this. The idea of that little like blue and red logo, because the fact I know it's in the Japanese logo, it's got to be to do with the whole game's gimmick. What if armor evolutions are true and whatever? I think Lox, and I'm pretty sure it was him. He said something like, if it was like crowd affinity, where essentially when you're in the stadium and you have a big audience watching you, if the audience started yelling like defense, defense, you would get a defense raise, or like offense, offense.
Really good.
Right, and then that would raise the attack of the enemy Pokemon, etc. Now, just imagine if you had max crowd affinity, and plus, again, this is I really fucking like this. Sorry, I'm swearing. I don't know if I'm even
passionate about this. I can hear it. It's great. Now keep going.
But just think about this. Like, so if you have max crowd affinity, you do the coolest moves you have, the best performance you could possibly put on, adding in that contest value to it as well.
Yeah. They have like appeal value.
Exactly. If the crowd is so pleased with you to the point where your Pokemon's popping a Woody, dude, like imagine, imagine it gets armor evolution during a battle during max crowd affinity. That's how it would work.
It could work something around that. Plus, if it gets to max crowd affinity, maybe you get like a guaranteed crit or something like that.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
That's how I would see it being best implemented. Because again, if we're talking of a new evolution, it's very clear that logo is something to do with like the gym related shit. So I'm just imagining, put two and two together, that could be how it plays out. But ultimately, again, unless they're the same thing as Megas, I would not want armored evolutions in the meta.
No, I mean, that makes sense because there's a reason why they're using a crowd aspect within the new gyms. Now, I can't see it just being as an aesthetic purpose. So using an actual mechanic within that crowd, depending how well, or maybe you are doing really bad and the crowd is trying to help you up, so maybe you get like a stat boost or an evolution when your team is down to like one Pokemon or something like that. Maybe they have that option, but I think something involving the crowd would be really neat to see.
I think what would be cool too is if they use that feature as the game progresses, right? You're building up that reputation for yourself as the player. So like the crowd comes to expect more from you every time you go to a new gym. So it's like if you start doing worse, then it only gets harder for you because then they'll start chanting for
so like
offense,
if you lose,
right?
so if you lose and you go back in, you get a smaller crowd. Is that kind of what you mean?
Or not even. That's a cool idea too, though. But I was thinking like, so like you beat first 4 gyms, right? So by that point, the difficulty level's naturally increased. Yeah, so it's like the crowd has an expectation for you to whoop ass and just go in there and take no prisoners kind of thing. But then you start off by getting crit O-code by the first Pokemon, and then the crowd's like, oh, I don't like that. All right, offense. And then they start rooting for the gym leader, and it's like, it becomes harder because then they have that totem boost, that beast boost, whatever kind of natural boost that they're going to, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the same kind of thing, just repeated in a different kind of mechanic.
I could also see like one of the gym leaders being like, I don't know, Samuel L. Jackson. So he's like a big celebrity, and that makes the crowd like him even more. Like say like this one gym leader's a celebrity, and so he has more fans, so he gets crowd boosts like more often than other gym leaders.
I could see that definitely with like an Elite Four or champion, definitely.
Literally think about that with like Elisa. They kind of already sort of showed that was a thing, right?
No, Jason, if this is what you meant by like in-game only, I'm all for it. But then it also worries me because I'm trying to think. I'm like, okay, let's say this is all true and this all happens. What if they made VGC battles this way too?
Now that's what I'm saying, right? Because again,
you gotta get a mic.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god,
that would be crazy, actually.
Yeah. Do you remember when you could record what Chatot's chatter would say?
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, imagine
that would
do
nerf
that
the
for Gen
Japanese
4.
players too hard. That would nerf the Japanese players. Then everybody be cheering for the Americans. They'd
All right, so we'll go on to the next one, and I'm actually adding this topic because I just thought of it. And what do you guys think? I saw a video, it was on Game Explain, about the graphics for this game. Now, did you guys get a chance to see that video? So it's basically, I think he was like a game developer or something, where he is someone that does enhance graphics to games or makes them, or at least does all the little things. Where a lot of the things that they were mentioning was it could be because the trailer came out this month, then the game's coming out later this year, where this may change over time. But a lot of the stuff that you see in Star is, as far as nature goes and what like the grass looks like, what the ground on the battling scene looks like, what the trees look like. A lot of it is very, very simple. And one of the things that he mentioned was lazy, or something that they weren't able to get to as of now, which is something that they'll be working on towards the later release of the game. But I don't know, as someone like that would put out a trailer and say, yeah, these are what the graphics are right now, but they're going to get better when the game comes out. I don't know if I necessarily see it like that, But just for what my expectations were as far as a Switch game goes, I mean, you guys know what Breath of the Wild looks like. I was kind of expecting graphics around that level, and everything just seems much more realistic. You see the trees moving, you see the grass being a part of your environment rather than every thing just seemed like, yeah, I'm going to place that there. Yep, this is a graphics symbol that I have here of grass. Place that there, there, and there, where it looks like the old games, like the past games. So I don't know, do you think they did enough to the very first Switch game that has the most powerful engine by a long shot compared to what we've had before? Do you think that they did it justice, or do you think it's underwhelming as far as what we've seen so far?
Well, of course they're not going to be able to do it justice because, like I said earlier, I think that they started development on this game probably close to the time when, like, they got the dev kit for working on it, which I would imagine was, like, probably maybe a little before Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So
back what, like, 2013
like
or
end
13 or 16, 15? Okay.
No, end of 2015, right? So like I imagine this is really broad theory, but it's like if you had Masood and all the big guys working on Sun and Moon, once they were done kind of working on as much as they needed to, they probably just went straight to developing this game, man. Yeah. And plus, I know that even with before X and Y came out, like I know in an interview, Basuda talked about like taking the whole Game Freak team to like Europe and like exploring France and getting inspiration for it. So it's like they probably did that a couple of years ago. They went to the UK, got all their research. Now they started to, like it's been years of development. So when you think about when they started it, like they didn't have much else to work with. It's like if they went, although I know if any of you guys, Call of Duty, right? Like the same thing every year. No, but like it's the same kind of concept every year.
It is, yeah.
And the one thing fans complain about is like, okay, well, we don't want boots on the ground anymore. We want to go to space. But then when we actually go to space, it's like, I want boots on the ground again. It's like, well, you've already started working on something. By the time the developer's ready to push out the product, the consumer decides they don't want it. They can't just go pull a 180 and change it, right? So I think that's kind of where they're stuck at. They don't have the ability to sort of go back and change those graphics because they have to base it off an existing engine.
So do you think they originally were making the game for the Switch, or do you think they were still making it for the 3DS?
100% they were making it for the 3DS. I mean, they had the Switch dev kit, I'm sure, but they were making it with the idea in mind that this could have been a 3DS launch.
So potentially the next generation, that would be the one where our expectations, I guess, for a Switch game could be met.
I think that's where the graphical expectations will be. I think in terms of content overall, this game's still going to blow it out of the park, man, like 100%. But I just don't know if it'll be like, you know, when you think of the first game on the Switch, you think of something like everyone says Breath of the Wild or like Mario Odyssey level, like, but it's not going to be like that. And plus, Pokemon's never like,
and Pokemon's on a yearly release schedule.
Well, it never used to be, though.
Yeah, it used to be like every 2 or 3 years.
And plus, Japan would even get it like 9 months earlier, too. So it's like that's even more time to start the Western production of it. But either way, I still think that it's worth like noting that, next generation, next Pokemon game, it'll probably be something a lot more like fleshed out, kind of like XD Coliseum. But I still think that in terms of content, It'll be better than X and Y or Sun and Moon was for sure. But graphically,
it better be better than X and Y, bro. Oh.
Get little emojis for characters, basically. I don't even know what that was. It was like toddlers playing on the game.
Yeah, dude.
What story that game has, man? I'm cheesed.
I just don't understand because we had the same graphic limitations with Sun and Moon as we did with X and Y. But why did we have basically dwarfs being the characters that ran the whole game? Why was it changed after the fact?
To make the game seem more like if they do too big of a jump, then people are like, this doesn't even look like a Pokemon game.
So do you think it was limiting our expectations for the first 3D game? Because no matter what, we're going to be excited. It's 3D. We're going to be happy for it.
I think they purposely limit themselves so they just have somewhere they can go and so that the next generation looks like an improvement.
Because now X and Y look so bad compared to Sun and Moon. Like, so bad.
Yeah.
I think for its time, though, it was incredible. It's weird, though, because when you still think about it, I don't think even though they said they've never pushed their limits with any of the 3DS games. Because I know that Sun and Moon, they were like,
well, imagine if they went straight from black and white's graphics to Sun and Moon's graphics. I mean, that would have just been like
insane.
Too much for most.
And after that, you couldn't. Okay, let's say Generation 7's graphics were Gen 6's graphics. What would you do for Gen 7? you can't really upgrade from there.
Yeah, you can't.
But would you need to if it's still on the same console? Because we basically went from Game Boy to Game Boy Advance, Advance to DS, DS to 3DS, and those were kind of our generational big enhancements within the graphics. But we stayed on the same 3DS engine for those two generations, so maybe we could have been content. I don't know if I would have had an issue if it was going to still be on the 3DS if we had the same graphics from Gen 6 to Gen 7. I don't know if I would have expected that.
Oh, I don't know if you guys remember when Gen 5 first came out, but everyone, like so many people were complaining about its graphics because it seemed like a downgrade from Generation 4's.
Really?
People, yeah, I remember internet people were complaining, but then the whole thing was Generation 5 tried to like animate the sprites more, but because of the I don't know what the word is, the downgrading, like the pixel quality or whatever, people were just so pissed off. So I think maybe out of fear from that, Game Freak did try to limit themselves in Generation 6 and then 7. That could be just a possibility.
And even in Gen 5, they tried a lot of like big 3D cutscenes and things that they hadn't experimented with much before. So there was still like a graphic improvement just all out.
I don't even know really how I feel about that though, like, because with the whole cutscene shit, like that's just adding in extra filler content that makes the game play itself through rather than you playing it through. That's why
even areas like the Sky Arrow Bridge where you just get like the big camera pan,
yeah,
see the whole thing.
I don't know. I like overall with just recent Pokemon games, as long as it's not a linear sort of path and whatever, like I don't know, you can't really go wrong with having a very simple sort of repeated, what do you call it, style to the games. But that's the only thing. Like if you're talking about graphics, you're not really like, what's the word I'm trying, you're not really like taking in what the game should be about, I guess. You're just looking for focus, you're more focused on how it looks rather than how it plays out. So it's like not worrying more so again with Shield and Sword, like if you have the games looking exactly like they did on 3DS, don't worry about that as much as how much content the games will have. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's just more of like just initial reactions where it's like, oh, like, yeah, this game could be great, but I'm not able to play it right now, so I'm judging on what I see. And it's like, yeah, I wish they could have just done a little bit more. But all my complaints about the graphics won't be as predominant if they do a great story. That's something that I'll just put on the backboard. I'll just hope for a future game. But in the end, it's really the story that makes the game or not. And
it's not like Pokemon games have ever been widely renowned for having graphics. They've always been behind the curve.
They've been about 10 years behind the curve.
Like, but when Generation 1 came out, most other franchises were already on the Game Boy Color. So, you know, they were behind from the get-go. And
Gen 1 is trash.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I don't want to hear
that. It started everything, so you were never allowed to say that. If there's no Gen 1, there's no Gens 2 through 8.
Yeah. I think they know that, like...
I know that.
More casual fans...
Kantos is so boring.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you there.
I'll give
They know that the graphics aren't really going to, like, bother the hardcore fans, because they've always...
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
To give some props to the graphics, the visual scaling on these games are finally like proper. Like the staircase, bro, that's a nice staircase. That's a real staircase.
Do you remember in X and Y when we'd have to do that one bridge battle, and it would be a normal bridge in the overworld, but the second we go into the battle, the Pokemon would be like going from like 8 feet tall to about 6 inches tall, and so would the trainers. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was not scaled properly.
Yeah, no, that was I'm like, what are you doing, Game Freak? Like, you gotta at least make it a little bit believable. But no, I think they did a good job with what's upcoming.
The only thing, the only thing with that is like if you go into Sword and Shield, like, and that's the thing. I don't want to sound like I disagree with you, but it's just like, you know, you can't give them shit for having the games look the way they do, because at least, you know, like, you're like, yeah, they're scaled properly and they look good and then whatever, but there's still similar graphics. But just wait until you get a game that they've actually had the chance to work on with a new dev kit, then it'll be something you were expecting initially. That's the thing. If you notice that anytime we get a new release, it's always we get what we were expecting like 1 year later. That's what I remember with Ultra Sun and Moon. I remember making a theory about how, like, what's his name, Marshadow was going to be the big, like, gonna change all the events in the story and like destroy Alola and all that stuff. I just made that theory that Alola was gonna get destroyed. That ends up happening in Ultra Sun and Moon, not the same exact way, but it ends up happening a year later. So it's kind of like, for me anyways, I've seen a trend where it's like you have some expectation for a game, won't follow up with that till the following year. Same thing with like walking with your Pokemon again. Like everybody was expecting Ultra Sun and Moon to actually put that in the game, because if you remember, they were in Sun and Moon's game files and they were wasting probably how much space, and they didn't even use all the space.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense why, like, if they're gonna do it, why, like, what weren't they able to accomplish to actually input it into the game? Like, if you had delayed the game for whatever 3 months to get this thing basically hashed out, why not do that?
But that's exactly it, though, right? Because there's a lot of times where content's just going to go unused and it'll never see the light of day. But again, at the end of the day, right? Let's just assume going into Sword and Shield that, yeah, even though it might look the same, let's hope it has more content. And another big thing I was going to say earlier, like what you want to see from it, I know we didn't see the trailer, but let's hope we have Pokemon walking with us. Otherwise, there's going to be like 800 walking animations that were just never used. Yeah, you can't just show walking Pokemon in our last generation and then take it away from us again. Like, you already did that in Gen 4 with Heart Gold, Soul Silver. And then that's something we expected going forward, which, I mean, I don't know why they did. I mean, they already had, however, like 600 Pokemon by that time or something around there to be able to put into the next generation, but they didn't. So I don't understand.
The only reason I can think of them doing that is, I remember it was an old interview with Masuda around the time that Oras came out, and they asked him, like, why isn't trainer customization Oras? And he said, because I want every game to have like its own like unique thing. Like, I don't want the same feature to carry it over to every game, because then that region loses.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Walking Pokemon, what I'll say is, I think, okay, by the looks of the trailer, if there's like one or two options for me. Turn it back on whenever we want to, or if we go by the trailer, like, no one has walking Pokemon. So I feel like what might happen is in our Pokemon gyms, maybe some Pokemon will be able to follow us, because the gyms are they're stadiums now, right? They're much bigger. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be like a limited thing, like Amity Square. You guys remember in Amity, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum? You had Amity Square, and you have like 20 Pokemon follow you, and that's it. It could be like that.
Could be cool.
Oh, are there 8 stadiums? I don't know if anyone counts them up. Are there 8?
Not
6 visible.
6 is the ones I can see.
Yeah, I could only ever find 6.
Okay.
There's like 2 major cities that you can't really see much in, and I think there's 2 gyms in there as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's up to 8. Yeah.
To be fair, though, I think if they're smart, they'll leave a lot of stuff out of the promotional map. And then it'll probably end up getting changed down the line. And I think that would be the best way to go about it, because did they change anything with the Sun and Moon map? They just completely left it open for us to look at.
The maps have just
I don't think they changed it at all, did they? Other than when they bring out the next game, like Ultra Sun and Moon, I think they changed a little bit, didn't they?
A little bit.
Did they really?
Or did they? Or was it just the Necrozma stuff they put all over it? Maybe that was it.
They made a sunset and then put a big black hole in the top or something.
Yeah, that was it. Okay. Yeah, that was the big change.
I think since Gen 5, though, the maps have been getting like progressively more minimalist. Like, they show much less detail. Like, I have a map of the Sinnoh region, and like, it shows every little detail. You see every building, you see every little path on the routes. Like, it's incredibly detailed. And look at like Gen 5, 6, 7. The maps of those regions are not nearly as detailed. They don't want to give away everything.
Yeah, they kind of just
Go's map is pretty detailed.
Yeah, I think that's because we already knew it, though, so I don't think they need to show anything new.
Yeah.
But I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's just gonna suck if they don't use those walking animations. I'm honestly gonna be pissed, like, if they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they don't use them in this game, they're just getting shafted.
Yeah, and maybe they're just redoing the shading on it, because you know that they did it. I mean, they redid the shading multiple times. They did it with. I don't think they changed from 6 to 7 though. I could be wrong. I think they looked exactly the same as far as the shading goes on them. But then they obviously changed it on Let's Go, but now they changed it again back to these games. And I think I prefer these games. They're the Sword and Shield that's coming out with the shading they're putting on the characters.
I
Or do you like Let's Go?
I kind of like it more. I don't know. The one, I mean, they're going for more grungy, realistic vibe, and this one, Let's Go, is more cartoony. So it's just kind of like what you prefer. It looks better with some Pokemon, but Pikachu's a bad example.
Yeah, it just seems like it's a lot of work, though. I mean, if they're going to put all that effort into doing all the shadings on every single Pokemon.
Well, they already did walking animation, so they might as well do shading.
Change it 3 times.
I don't think,
what do you guys think of the cutscenes? Like, how do you think? Like, you have any expectations for them?
I expect them to be used effectively, not used just to use them.
I wouldn't use the word expect on my case, but I would hope they look like the CGI in the trailer. That's what I would want to see.
That's what I would want too. But like, did they straight up say? This is the gameplay footage, right?
No, but that's the thing. Like, it doesn't have to be gameplay footage, because gameplay footage, I think, entails that it's actual in-game footage, right?
Okay.
So like, because like all trailers, all cutscenes are just befores, right? So I don't know. I'm just thinking they could do that, but.
Yeah, I mean, examples are like with Super Smash Bros. That came out. I mean, with the World of Life, I think. World of Light. No, that's it. World of Light, yeah. Where they were able to separate. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have a Smash Bros. Gameplay in there for any cutscenes. So, that's they showed. So, it is plausible that we could see that within these games. And I definitely would not be mad about that.
I could totally see them using like a shortened version of that CGI cutscene with the starters just in game when you're actually your starters.
They did it in Sun and Moon too. They had like CGI cutscenes, yeah. X and Y did too, but Sun and Moon's ones were
but right, Mystic, like, think about if it was like on the Switch, right? Like, it would look so good, dude. It would look like the anime. So that's why I'm thinking it'd be,
X and Y's in like probably like entire budget was like, all right, guys, let's make one really, really cool cutscene. There was entire budget.
Wasn't even that good, to be honest.
And it was the shitty legendary. Yeah. Bro, have you guys actually gone back and looked at the view counts of like some of the X and Y trailers and how abysmal they were?
No.
Yeah.
Abysmal?
No.
Dude, yeah, man. Like,
compared to like Sword and Shield numbers.
Oh, way.
Or not even Sword and Shield. Bro, look up Honage's reveal. I'm pretty sure last year when I looked at it, it had about 500,000 views.
Wow.
And think about that, right? There's trailers on Sun and Moon that were hitting like peak 3.45
yeah, like they were all like at least 1 mil.
36,000.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah. Look at all the X and Y trailers. They had like no views, man.
That could be because, I mean, YouTube became a really big, like, everyone, I mean, YouTube's been out since like what, 2005 or whatever, but I think Pokemon really started to use it as their promotional material starting Gen 6. So I think people were starting to,
even like the rise of PokeTubers was Gen 6.
Yeah.
Like, that's where everyone came out.
Yeah.
So
I think that's when Pokemon realized, okay, this is where we're able to bring all of our information regarding the games. And I think that's just when people are starting to realize, oh, we can go to YouTube and we can subscribe to them, and then we're going to get everything we need to know about the games. But that brings me to my next point. What do you guys think they're going to be doing this time around as far as showing off the game? Because I think we can all agree they showed a lot in the past, and I don't necessarily need that. I mean, the fact that they literally spoiled Rainbow Rocket, maybe they need to do that because otherwise it was the exact same game. But I just feel like they show way too much, especially getting closer to the release of the games where you don't need that to sell the game. Like, for example, with Red and Green or Red and Blue coming to the games for Sun and Moon.
Yeah, that should have been less
like
secret,
that's not necessary. Like, why would you spoil that for us? You don't need them to sell it.
Unnecessary was when they revealed the Delta episode, like literally 2 days before ORAS dropped.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was the stupidest thing.
That made me mad. Like, really?
In class.
Yeah,
that episode was great too, which made it even worse.
It was, it was good.
Like, they showed like the full cutscene in the trailer too. Like when you go through the meteor or whatever, it's like,
yeah, it's like, do I need to play this, or am I just gonna watch the whole thing on YouTube?
I don't know what they're doing, but because like recently, like everything's been spoiled ahead of time, right? Like, even if it's like unintentionally, we got the Sun and Moon decks 2 weeks before the game came out. Oh man, I don't know.
Starters were leaked like 6 months in advance. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. That almost made me mad just for the fact that, like, I'm like, don't ever listen to leaks or anything, but just the fact that stupid Sun and Moon leak happens, anything that pops up on the internet, everyone's gonna think it's real and a leak.
Well, because you're gonna question it now. But dude, okay, I want anybody.
Wait till all the data mining starts.
I want anybody in this call to tell me for a minute you didn't think that when those concepts initially, you thought they were bullshit. You know that none of you thought they were real.
Yeah.
I thought they were bullshit. 100%.
Then all we knew was that it was 100% fake because we never got leaks Pokemon.
Right?
Yeah,
but then
most leaks are fake. With 10% of them actually being real.
But like, I don't know what any of your guys like revelations were like when you saw like the third evolutions come out. But like, my jaw literally hit the fucking floor, man. Because it's like,
I was like,
wow,
no,
this is happening.
Come on. and then I see get revealed. I'm like, beep, it's beeping real. Like,
yeah, I think the designs, I just like, no, that's BS. That ain't happening. And part of it was like, I didn't mind the designs, but I wasn't wowed by them.
Like, I appreciate Incineroar more now, because of Super Smash Bros.
Yes, honestly, it did make me like him a lot more because it did show the more of the personality with him, and I think that's
so. Hey, like, he totally belongs in Smash. I'm like,
I think what messed me up with Incineroar is that
Yeah.
usually the middle stage is like a transition.
I love Litten, dude.
Torracat shows
Torracat,
no signs of turning into Incineroar.
yeah,
There
I'm
is
like
a-
Torracat's
there's a
legit.
small
I
thing.
love that second evolution
And
or
then
that
you
first
see its
evolution.
you're like, that's another bipedal. Damn it!
It's like, where did this come from?
Yeah,
No, it's a fire dark type, guys. Like,
Legs. It's
better than firefighting.
I guess so. Yeah.
If you look at Torracat's legs, its hind legs are like they're getting smaller while its paws are getting bigger, indicating that it's gonna like stand up and be like a grappler kind of thing. So there's a small transition,
But
but
a small transition. Okay.
I like it. I think Decidueye is probably my favorite one out of all of them.
Decidueye?
Decidueye,
gotta be Incineroar, man.
Yeah, I thought he was. Decidueye grew on me. I think I just appreciate it because there was so much fan art and none of it was even close to what, until it leaked, obviously, what the design was going to be for it. And I just thought using a hoodie for its feathers or like part of its body, I just thought that was a really good design that no one thought of. So gotta
There's one that was
appreciate that
cool.
aspect. There's a hoodie aspect design.
yeah, I was trying to find it.
Okay.
Do you remember what happened at Worlds in 2016? I believe it was like somebody had made fan art of those leaks like before they were confirmed.
Yeah, didn't he ask him to sign it?
Yeah, and they got Masada to sign it, and apparently he said something along the lines of, "Oh, we haven't revealed these guys yet," or something. Wait, what?
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember this.
I want to see this.
What was this?
This was
Yeah, no,
But that's the year that Shady did his Comcast or shoutcasting, right?
Ah.
I think so.
Was that so? That was for Gen 7, not Gen 6, because I remember that.
Jensen, it was like August 2016 or so.
Okay, wow, yeah.
Like
So he legit
the
said,
dude
like,
put a
oh,
picture
yeah.
on his Twitter account, like the signed fan art, and he's Masada was very sad about this.
Yeah, I feel bad because I mean these developers, they put so much time and effort into the game, and for it to get leaked like that, like you want them to be the one showing off their hard work, and when someone's able to find it and leak it and kind of just get publicity for it, you feel bad for them. I mean, obviously everyone's gonna look at it if it's a real.
Do you remember
leak, but
when whole it was like Wishy Washy and Alolan Raichu, like the video presentation got leaked like a day early? That was bizarre.
I don't remember that. I mean, I lost it when I saw that. I'm like, freaking, I had a
Like, it showed up
Pikachu on a
some random
surfboard for my
YouTube
first
channel.
logo, and then it freaking evolved into a Raichu that's on a surfboard for a tail. I'm like, all right, this is my new channel.
Like, do you know how all the Sun and Moon reveals were done like kind of like the same template?
Yes.
Kind of video.
Yep.
Thing. So that showed up on someone else's channel like a day or two like before it was scheduled to go up, and then it showed up on the official Pokemon channel, and it was like, what? How did this end up on this random guy's channel like 2 days in advance?
I know something sort of small about that, but I don't know if we could mention that while we're recording. But I could tell you about that afterwards if you're interested.
It
Yeah,
was sneaky.
just
tell us about
write
what?
that down in the chat, so we'll get back to that when we're done.
All right.
But
You guys remember when Greninja was revealed? Like not
Yeah.
actually revealed, but like
that was a legit leak. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't believe that.
I remember everybody was trying to debunk it too. Like they said,
I didn't like him at first either with that tail or the tongue for the scarf. But it grew on me. Now he's like one of my favorites just because my starter Pokemon was Froakie and ended up getting a shiny just randomly. That was just, I got the game.
What?
Yeah, like it was legit. That's the kind of like where I started to get into YouTube, where I put that on. I got like, I don't know, 200,000 views showing all of the evolutions to it. But literally day one when I opened it up, I got a shiny Froakie and I freaking lost it.
That's legendary.
I know. That's why I'm like, damn, I should have done LP. Just imagine your first episode randomly getting a shiny starter. And that was before all the like, you know how they'd always do the data mine, you know, all the shinies before the game came out. That was before that, where I was like the first. I had to have been the first one to know what the shiny was, unless if someone who just didn't do YouTube got a shiny as well on day one. But other than that was it.
Yeah.
So that's how he kind of became like one of my favorites. It's just more of like a personal story, but I mean that was just so cool.
Pretty wild.
I know. I couldn't believe it because it was like a tinted white where it's not that big of a difference. So I was looking at that. I just kept staring and like, that looks different. That looks really different. And then when it finally sent out of the Pokeball, like, oh my God, you see the sparkles? Yeah, I lost that one. I'll have to send you guys the video because I was just freaking out. It was like a 30-second video. I was like, I got a shiny Froakie. I got a shiny Froakie. I just lost it.
And then when it came black, you're probably like, oh my God.
Yeah, like this is
one of the
amazing.
best shinies ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was just a really cool moment for me. And I think that's kind of like what got me really into like wanting to make more videos just because that was just a cool moment for me. But
that's cool.
Yeah. So as far as I'll ask you guys this, you guys can all answer individually. What are your top 3 things that you want to see in these games? Now, nothing's really been announced, but what do you want to see that will make these games amazing for you?
Are we doing like an order to this?
Let's Mystic go first.
Oh man.
Sorry, do we skip you?
Actually. No, don't skip me. Just give me like a couple seconds to think. Go like hybrid or something.
Anyone? I mean, is anyone ready to give their answer?
I mean, I have 2 off the top of my head. I want a really good story. I also want. I want a good story. I want like good characters, and I want there to be Kalos post game. That's pretty much. I don't know if you guys mentioned this, but I also want regional variants, but in terms of regional variants, there are a few PokeTubers. I don't have any inside source, but there are a few PokeTubers that have basically for sure getting Galarian forms, or at least some kind of new forms to old Pokemon.
I want to know that though. Where are these inside sources coming from? Like, who knows anyone? It's like one of those. Yeah, I got a source that he worked. His dad works for Game Freak. And I don't get it.
My uncle was Mossida.
I just like, are they saying that just to BS us? I mean, I really don't understand how you get a source like that. Because if you have that source, why would you not always use that for everything and be like the guy?
They do. It's sort of like, I don't know.
So give me an example.
So for like Duncan and Shofu, they both said Incineroars come into Smash Bros. They both said they both talked about Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon before they were released. They both had information about Necrozma before they released, and they talked about these things on the internet. They just couldn't reveal where they got their information from and whatnot. And even Duncan said our new region for Sword and Shield based off the UK, and it was. And he said he said 100% guarantee it, like no doubt about it. If I'm wrong, I'll give you guys $500 or something like that. But he said I'm not going to give it to you guys because I know for a fact I'm right. But if I am wrong, I'll give it to you. But no, they've said things like they had the Smash roster ahead of time. They've had information on X and Y, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and now they're saying Galarian forms, or at least some kind of form for old Pokemon in Sword and Shield, which we can assume is Galarian forms, original variants.
Huh.
See, I think a lot of people just get lucky because I remember there was a leaker for X and Y who predicted Fairy type, predicted Sylveon, predicted a lot of the new design. And he was like right about just about everything up until the very end. And then at the very end, he was fake. Got insanely lucky predicting everything up until then.
Throw in some lies here and there on 4chan. I mean, the text leaks just so they don't get caught by Nintendo. But at least like I know for a fact, at least like Rogers Base and Shofu, they definitely have an insider from Nintendo. They're friends with people. They're friends with people from Nintendo, right? So they have.
We got to go to those meetings. Got to figure out how to be a part of them. Because I know, did they ever do anything as far as commentating for Pokemon Worlds or regionals or anything like that? Because I know Shady got to do that. I'm trying to think of any other.
I don't think they let Shofu do it.
They Trophy tried, but he couldn't get it. He didn't get it.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Because I know, yeah, because he applied for it.
Because he did a bunch of ROM hacks as well.
Probably.
Nintendo doesn't like ROM hacks.
Yeah,
That's that, bro. You know how much this guy cusses? Oh my
Yeah.
god, every other word.
True.
Yeah, but with Shady though, where I think he recently said that Nintendo doesn't like him anymore, Pokemon doesn't like him anymore, and I don't know why. If he did like a ROM hack or something like that, I mean, you have to have a pretty squeaky clean resume basically as a YouTuber to do some kind of Pokemon content. But
I remember him saying that Pokemon wanted Nintendo or Game Freak or something of Pokemon. They wanted him to take down his Dark Rising Let's Play, which was his first Let's Play because it was a ROM hack, like the Mystic said. But Shady's like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." And then I think after that, Pokemon was like, "All right, we're letting you go."
So that was after he already worked with them one time.
Look in the chat.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
Okay.
I remember hearing that like 2 years ago. It's really, really dumb, but that's the way they've always been with that kind of stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
It's funny
that's good to know.
because I don't know if you guys play Pokemon Insurgents.
I think I played part of it. Is that like the really, really long game that they did? I mean, it has like all the different forms and evolutions in it, right?
That's what Suzerain did.
Yeah,
Okay.
what's funny about that is they Insurgents had something called Delta forms, which are basically like regional variants, which we got in Generation 7. They also had armored Pokemon, which
Oh shit!
Oh man.
Oh, we might be getting in Generation 8. So yeah.
Well, if there's a cease and desist on that game, then you know what happened.
Yeah.
Nintendo
They took all of our ideas. What the hell? We gotta get them. Oh man, that's crazy though.
Well, I think I have my 3 that I want from the game.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
I do. So, first and foremost, I want a big generation because they always are going to reveal like 50 to 60 Pokemon before launch, regardless of what the final generation size is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping we get more than 100. I don't want another small gen like XY
I
or
doubt
something.
it.
Yep.
I don't want forms. I don't want evolutions. I just want brand spanking new Pokemon. That's all I want. Number 2, I also want there to be a less linear story, at least less than Kalos or Alola. You know, maybe a little bit of freedom, like say Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, number 3, I want the game to still be difficult. Like, I still want to have like the same difficulties, maybe Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun. I don't want it to be like go back to XY or Let's Go.
Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing that never made any sense to me when Pokemon finally implemented a difficulty mode. It was after you beat the game.
Yeah, like
For the way you unlock the difficulty mode is so stupid. You have to connect the. Oh, someone go off. Someone go off. Whoever wants to rant, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say no. It's like the dumbest thing. Like, why would they make it so you have to connect with someone else who has the opposite version of you?
Yeah.
Why does one game give you easy mode if you've already beaten the game?
Yeah,
you know?
I literally don't have a single answer to any of that. It just none of it makes
so
sense.
Stupid. Black 2 was limited to easy version. White 2 was locked to a challenge mode. You have to connect. No one. People don't even know that challenge mode and easy mode exist because of how difficult it was to get those settings.
And it just doesn't make sense why they would do that. It just I would love to have an interview. I mean, they don't really do interviews at all. I'm trying to think like
White 2 has some really, really cool features. They were just locked behind very dumb ways.
Yeah, it's just like when they eventually do their remake, I think they will fix those issues, and hopefully they'll be able to do that where pretty much all the gripes that we had with it, they'll be able to fix within the remakes, but that won't happen to like whatever 2025 or 2026, something around there. But yeah, so that was around there. And then you said you wanted 60 new Pokemon?
No,
you didn't want 60. You wanted 100.
You want 100.
I don't want another Kalos or Alola type decks. I want less forms and more new Pokemon.
Now, would you be okay with let's say it's 80-20, 80 new Pokemon, 20 new forms, but that does not include legendaries?
If it doesn't include I think that'd be okay.
Because one thing that really has made me enjoy what Pokemon has done is with the Mega Evolutions and the Alolan forms. I prefer the Alolan forms because it's permanent. So that means you can choose between an Alolan Raichu or a regular Raichu. I just think that's like one of the neatest things that they come up with. And it's such like a thing that everyone can understand because it happens in the real world. There's white foxes, there's red foxes. So the fact that they're bringing that into Pokemon games, I think it is super nice. So that's why I actually have like a top 10. I did my first 5. I did it in a 2-part video, but yeah, so I was saying the same thing where I wanted 100 brand new Pokemon, but also bringing in forms as well, just because I think that's a good way to bring older fans back into the game, where you're saying, oh, well, they have a new Charizard or something, just something simple like that. And like, oh, well, that makes me want to check out this game, see what it's like. So I think they do a good job, but I don't want them to only cater to Kanto anymore. I think they've done a lot for Kanto. I love Kanto. I mean, a lot of people do hate it. It's more of a nostalgia thing to me. If Kanto came out in the year 2019, I would be really disappointed. But since it came back out then,
that if there's more Pokemon, then there's less stuff that can spoil, or like they'll still spoil the same amount of stuff before the game, or they'll reveal it. Whatever.
Yeah,
but there'll still be more stuff to discover.
Because I'm trying to think, they did not reveal every Alolan form for Sun and Moon, correct?
No, but they revealed
they revealed everything.
The data mine did it.
Yeah,
I think it was Geodude, right? That was the one that wasn't.
Diglett was the other one.
Was Diglett, since it was part of? Well, they didn't announce it, but it was in the demo.
No, because that's what I was gonna say. They plan to show it off in the demo.
Yeah, so technically Geodude was the only one, which doesn't make sense. Why would you single out only one line of Pokemon?
It's just bad PR team, man. Like
they're only 10 of the actual like new Gen 7.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to see how much Omori and Masuda do have for control of what they want to be shown. I'm assuming they have to have a little bit, but I don't know if they would really want that much to be shown about the game when they really hate leaks and all that kind of stuff.
And then Oras went and revealed every Mega Evolution episode.
Yeah,
that's the big thing, though. Like with the whole like showing how much they want to have revealed, like it's to please the stockholders, right? So it's like if they don't have, like I think for Sun and Moon that could have been a reason, and I'm just crossing my fingers on this. If that's the reason why they showed off so much was to be like, this is what we can do, invest in our game, please, so we can hire more people. Let's just hope that the team was actually bigger for Sword and Shield, so that way it wasn't as much of like a time crunch to get it done. But I gotta say though, even my biggest concern is like, if this game was starting development in like, I don't know, like end of 2015 or something like that, like it worries me because this doesn't look like a game that took like, well, what will be nearly 4 years to complete by the time it comes out. Like it's kind of worrying me a little bit. Like if you look at the size of the map, right? Like realistically, it's not much bigger than if you put Alola together.
Well, I think that's one of the things that, like when we first saw the trailer, they didn't show anything new. It all looks very, very standard. Like it doesn't look like they really expanded the map. It just looks like a new generation. That's basically what it looks like. It doesn't like this is crazy brand new thing we're trying out. This is another generation. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is, again, as long as they add, I mean, I don't know about you guys. This is a debate we could have for hours separately, but it's like the best, in my opinion, the best adventure experience I ever got from a Pokemon game was hands down Black and White. And the only reason why I say that, there you go. And the only reason why is because they had all those cool hidden areas that you could just
hidden grottos.
The hidden grottos. They had like that one place where you could go for one of the genie events, like that little shrine and on top of a waterfall. They had the underwater temples. They had like so much shit, and it was just like even that one random route. I think if you went like east of the first city after you got Surf, you could go find that random laboratory in the middle of a lake that they were studying Genesect, and like just shit like that. Like that is so imperative to part of the experience of exploring and unlocking this whole region. Like, dude, Sun and Moon didn't. Like, I've said this so many times. It is such a missed opportunity for Hawaii to be used in Alola. Like, that was such a bad game, man. I just can't get over it. Like, think about that. Hawaii, bro. Such a beautiful, mystical place on this planet, but yet there wasn't, like, one, like, hidden little, like, cave you could go in. Oh, Kala'e Bay. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and I was in Hawaii last year, and I can definitely say that there's a lot of things you can do in Hawaii, and they like that. That should have been the one where you can do whatever you want in. You don't need to go here first. You don't need to go here first. Just here's your character. Have fun. That's what it should have been.
Go to Hawaii.
Just missed opportunity.
But Not here, man. Not here.
No,
Yeah.
not in Game Freaks.
Now
mode.
we gotta have Nebby get in the bag for like.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, we can delete her for the history of Pokemon. We just never mentioned again.
Yo, Mystic, you've been trying so hard not to cuss, but Nebby got you, bro.
Yeah, no, I never cuss in my videos. But like on my Twitch streams, I go all out. I don't care.
That's okay. This is a podcast. I don't think anyone's going to listen 2
Yeah.
hours. And they did it. All right, marking them.
Okay,
Adult content only.
Decided on the 3 I wanted to decide on. I know I'm a little bit late, but
That's okay.
I actually decided like 5 minutes ago. But yeah, I was like, I want you guys to continue your conversation.
Yeah.
So I want new megas. I want new evolutions, and then I want more mini games. So kind of like you guys remember like the Berry Blender. The Pokemon Jump Rope and Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. I want them to be able to incorporate more of that stuff, but online. Because, when Pokemon, came, when there was like online, like on the 3DS, we could have done so many more things rather than just battling and trading and stuff. We could, rather than, have like the same exact formula, we could, do like, fun mini game stuff, kind of like in Poke, kind of like in Mario Party, like we could, like we could have like Pokemon I don't know, picnic fight or something, like where you pick up like little items, like you throw them at each other. New megas, I want. What's up, good?
No, I was just gonna say, when you say that, I just keep thinking of fucking whatever that stupid thing from Sun and Moon was, the Battle Paradise or whatever. What was it called? What was
Festival
that?
Plaza?
Festival Plaza, yeah.
Oh, God.
No.
We can go on a rant for like a half hour on that
I
one.
want the PSS back. Fuck the Festival Plaza.
Yeah, honestly,
Anyways.
that's the one change they gotta make for sure. Frigging online. Okay, you guys are saying that BGC was better for Sun and Moon than it was for X and Y, and I agree. But like in terms of like online play and everything, it wasn't as good as X and Y. I feel like the reason why X and Y died down so quick was because lack of online play or how tedious it was to get online.
Oh, absolutely. It was a task, like, and it wasn't even like a fun one. Like they tried making it go to this cool virtual world. It's like I'd rather don't. Like,
Oh my God, hello.
no, but like honestly,
like, man, like your friend's online at the same time, and he's trying to send you a request, and you're trying to send him a request, and nobody knows what they're doing.
No, honestly, yeah.
keeping it simple with the PSS, like that was just it's such a beautiful feature, man. I don't know why it was ever removed.
Great.
Press
So
a
from
button,
LG,
you
right?
press another, you're in. So good.
For evolutions, I want baby Pokemon. Like I want like a baby Lickitung, perhaps like a baby Tauros, like a baby Miltank. Just basic stuff like that. I think Gen 4 we got evolutions for certain Pokemon, like we got Licky, we got Tangrowth, Roserade. I want pre-evolutions. I think pre-evolutions would be really really cool.
For what
last
Pokemon,
one,
though?
So I'm glad you brought
I don't know, Lickitung, Tauros, Miltank.
For like
Kangaskhan.
the same thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So new Pokemon, but pre-evolutions for.
I want like
And
a
then last
little
one-
meteorite thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like little meteorites from I don't know, Lunata and Slowrock. And the last one is new megas, like Mega Flygon, Mega Butterfree, just stuff like that.
Now-
It's like
Do you have specific evolutions you want for specific Pokemon that you want to see?
I actually, I've actually already said that like twice.
Dang it! Sorry, I just got back in.
No, ignore that. So I want like a baby Miltank, pre-evolution of Tauros, Kangaskhan probably. Let's see some other single Pokemon that don't evolve. We would have, let's see, name us a Pokemon that don't evolve.
I'm trying to think.
Zangoose, the Viper.
Zangoose, yeah, Seviper. Why not? Pokemon like that, or Seviper and Zangoose, could evolve. Like they could really use evolutions. That'd be kind of cool.
What about that
And the
one
last one
Unova Pokemon? The dragon. How do you even say that?
Yes, Druddigon. I can't stand Druddigon. And then the last one's Mega Evolutions. Butterfree, Hydreigon, Flygon. Those would be. On top of that, too, Mega Evolution started in Kalos. Galar's like right next door to Kalos. And
It seems like it.
Armored Evolution would be really stupid. It really does seem like, it definitely is plausible. So those are 3 features I want.
and there's like an in-game reason for that too. They could say like, oh, the radiation from the ultimate weapon, whatever, carried over.
Yeah, I mean, like it's you got the perfect opportunity. So
I'm glad you brought up actual evolutions again because I want to ask a question. I know we touched on Pokemon evolving and whatnot like a few times, but do you guys think that we'll get evolutions for old Pokemon? Because I feel like after Gen 4 they kind of stopped it. Of course we're gonna get probably evolutions and whatnot.
Yeah.
excluding the evolutions. I'm like, do you guys think we'll get anything else?
I think it depends. So if they do not bring a new mechanic, which I highly doubt, I think they're gonna have to bring a new evolution because I think they realize that that's the thing that really gets us hyped for new games. With that Mega Evolution now being Alolan forms, I don't know if they'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I really did enjoy them. So I think they'll bring something new to the table. But if they do, and I don't know. I don't think they'll bring regular evolutions unless if it is an EV evolution.
It's no more Kanto fucking Pokemon one.
I can definitely
see
see
a Galarian Vulpix and be like,
oh yeah, they don't need it. That's when it's a little too much. Don't do it to ones. Don't give it to any Pokemon that has a Mega Evolution or any Pokemon that has an Alolan form. Do something else with them.
Too much Charizard. I love Charizard, but he's literally got something every generation. Even in Generation 5, where there was no sign of any other Pokemon, there was a bridge called the Charizard Bridge. Like, why?
What? Where?
I don't remember that.
Imbasa and Driftville? The red bridge between Imbasa and Driftville?
That's not called Charizard Bridge.
It's called the Great Charizard Bridge.
No, hold on.
We gotta look this up. We're going fact check.
I'm googling this right now, dude. If hybrids,
swear to God,
I don't remember that.
The one generation where you thought Charizard wouldn't be a thing, Charizard Bridge.
Okay, so I see Driftvale Drawbridge, but then it says like Charizard Bridge Unova, but that doesn't like.
Is that anime?
No, it's in game. It's like an NPC who says this is Charizard.
So is it actually labeled as Charizard, or does the NPC call it Charizard?
So on the map, it's labeled as Driftvale Drawbridge. But there's a little marker in the game. There's also like NPCs who call it the Charizard.
You talk to people, they're all like, it's called the Charizard Bridge, but the Japanese name is straight up called Lizardon Bridge.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It refers to it as that.
Charizard.
That's ridiculous.
Fucking Charizard.
It's unbelievable.
I had some guy in my comment section. I know I'm relentless to be talking about like my stuff, but
it's fine.
Some guy. Okay, yeah. So some guy commented. He spelled my name MysticUmbreon. He goes, MysticUmbreon, your rest is to Charizard because you don't like him. I'm like,
I love Charizard.
What? Like, how am I racist when not liking Charizard? Are you serious?
Oh my God.
I don't get it. I'm like, dude, comment sections are so fun.
Like,
I will hate on Charizard.
I will never advocate for Charizard getting new stuff, but if it happens, I mean, like, okay, I'll take it. I know the majority of people are going to be pissed because it's Charizard or Pikachu, kind of like at that level that they get new stuff. But I mean, I still like Charizard. So if you're going to give it a new form, like, no, take it back. Don't put it in the game. Like, all right, yeah, I'll probably add it to my team. I'll be one of those guys.
Just don't give Charizard an armored evolution, please.
You know he's going to get one.
He's probably going to get one.
You can get the fuck out of this call.
I just saw a thing. I saw a thing that says on that drawbridge, you can actually hear the cry of Charizard in the background.
Way?
Yeah, I'd have to play that because I saw the link that you sent, so I'll have to check that out. Cause now that
I've never noticed that before. I've never noticed that. It must be like
even in Black 2 and White 2, if you show one of the youngsters on the bridge of Charizard, he gives you a heal powder by the looks of it.
Oh my God, dude.
And then if X and Y, he got Megas. Generation 7, he was the ride Pokemon. Bro, it's just Charizard dominates, man.
Yeah.
And like I really, really hope he doesn't get Armor Evolution because it's too much.
I mean, he's probably the second most popular Pokemon, like right behind Pikachu. I mean, if you think of it. So, it's Pikachu, Charizard, the Kanto guys, they're always going to get the most love, whether you like it or not.
People like that.
Yeah.
God, I hope we don't catch another Mewtwo in this game. I'm done with catching.
Like, I don't, like, if you set up a decent story, like a side story or something for it, I don't mind, but I just hate the fact, because I know, who's the one who had the mythical Pokemon? Was it JPR?
That was mine, yeah.
Yeah, and every single part in that video was 100% valid, where they just kind of just botched the whole mythical Pokemon thing, where if they make an actual event for it, then yeah.
Not just like a mystery. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they do something like that with Mewtwo, I mean, obviously I'd rather have it with a newer Pokemon or something like that. But as long as they make something interesting to get it rather than, oh, I found you in a cave, let's battle, and I'm going to try to catch you. You have to do something more than with that. So I'm hoping they change things up this time around with the games.
You can definitely see Mewtwo being somewhat relevant to the story if we go to Kalos because of Pokemon Village or whatever.
Well, and we're also having the remake of the Pokemon first movie too, so you may see some kind of correlation. I mean, it's more
We're getting
more Gen 1 stuff. So, I mean, they did it with the Everyone story where they included Marshadow for some apparent reason into Johto just to do it for promotional purposes. So, I mean, you almost have to guarantee that they're going to include. I don't know. I think it'd be cool though if they did some of the clones, that you'd be able to get one of the clones in the games that have the designs on them. It'd be decent. I think it'd be kind of cool. But, I mean, they're going to have to tie it in somehow.
This isn't in the notes, but I thought I'd bring it up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you guys think that Melton and Melmetal play an important part of this story? Because people are saying that Melton and Melmetal are probably going to appear in the new Mewtwo movie because they're mythicals, right? And then also,
I don't know. I mean, look at did you see that the trailer is the exact same trailer when the Pokemon the first movie came out in 99? Like, I guarantee you it's literally a 100% remake. I don't think they're changing any part of the story.
Looks awful.
Like it'll
It'll be the exact same movie, but
stop.
they shoehorn Melton in at the last minute, and he just ruins the entire movie.
Yeah, like at least do what Disney does and don't give them the exact same
It's like a robot chicken episode.
It's that's what a lot of people were saying, because it does look like it looks like your Ash Ketchum figure that you had when you were 7 years old, just thrown into the game and you're animating him.
Dude, thank you.
That's offensive to my Ash Ketchum figure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if they did something different with it, fine, but I don't understand the point of it. If you're gonna do a CG animated movie, just make it live action. But we already have the Detective Pikachu. I just don't understand the point of the movie.
Because Kanto will never die.
no, it's because like I think prior to this, every single mythical has been revealed by movie, right? Even we got Marshadow in that one, and I Choose You, and then everyone's story got Zero Aura. So people are saying Melton and Melmetal might be in here, but even like movies aside, Melton and Melmetal don't actually have a. They're not actually a part of any kind of region. They're not a part of the Alola region. They're not a part of the Kanto region. So, what region are they technically from?
Well, now that brings up something really interesting that I've been sort of waiting for somebody to open a pathway for. This is not necessarily in the notes either, but it can relate to the story. So it's like if you look back at X and Y, we're right next door to France. So it's like if yep, all right, cool. The only thing is like if you have this story kind of being a sequel some way to X and Y, if that would be to be the case, what if there was some kind of like man-made, or not even sequel to X and Y, actually, would it rather be a sequel to Sun and Moon? Because that was where they talked about like man-made Pokemon, wasn't it? With like Type Null and stuff like that, right? Or was there any stuff like that in X and Y?
I mean, Type Null was
What? Well, they had Magearna, I guess, if you want to count that one.
Yeah.
But what that was Gen 6 though, right? Because I know it kind of overlapped.
Gen 7, yeah.
It is Gen 7?
Well, Canyon is man-made somewhat. But it was Team Flair's experiment.
Was that it? Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, either way, it could be something like that where it's man-made and it's done in a way where it's not actually like considered a Pokemon. It just models the capabilities of one or something like that, so it doesn't have a Pokedex number either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's my...
Okay. All right. Did we get through everyone as far as what you guys want to see for this upcoming game goes?
I cut out. What'd you say?
Did we get everyone's top 3 things that they want to say for the game? Okay.
I don't think we got yours or Jason's, right?
I have a top 10 video did, so I'm not going to elaborate. I'm just going to go through the 10 and let's see if I can find it really quick. All right, ready. New evolutionary method or forms. 2. That was the forms. 3. Allow players to choose where they want to travel, aka open worlds. Number 4, create more realistic battle scenes, which we already talked about. 5, easy, medium, hard mode. Don't really need to elaborate on that. Trainer NPCs that have more than one programmed movement. That's one thing I'll talk 30 seconds on. That thing, it bothers the crap out of me where you just talk to a guy. Else. Yeah, like we all know how we feel. I mean, it's the most generic animation. He shakes his hand with his hand out in front of you and magically gives you an item. Or in Let's Go Pikachu Eevee, when he went to, it was the guy on the boat that you talked to the guy who got sick, and he would teach you how to do cut, and you just stand in front of the bush, and it just magically got cut in half. So, I mean, just elaborate on that. Make it more actually like realistic. So they just they're sticking to what Pokemon has been since Gen 1, and they're just random NPCs. They don't really do much other than you click you click A once, gives you one line, and it's going to give you that entire line for the rest of the time. So if you elaborate it a little bit more on giving it 5 lines or just different conversation to go to after you battled him or before you battled him, just so it seems more realistic. That's just my thought on that.
Forget that, man. My friends and family are all dying. The world's going to shits, but I'm still smiling. Oh my god. Yeah, so continue.
Yeah. All right. Then this one is split evolutions. So for the starters, so you got a male version and a female version. So I thought it'd be cool, and you can maybe give them different types, but I don't know if you'd want to be that different, because then it'll decide more on its typing than what its design is. Because I'm just a big design guy, so I've noticed with Gens 5 and 6 and 7, I believe, I'd say more 6 and 7, where they've had more of a female styled character, and I could see why women would want that. I could also see why men would maybe be turned off. So why not just give everyone what they want and just give a male version and a female version, and you just get to choose what route you want to go. So I think it'd be a good idea to kind of appeal to everyone. For example, like with Delphox and Poplio's evolution, I always forget the name of it, where those designs weren't my favorite, but I know a lot of people also really like designs. So maybe if you just brought a masculine design and a feminine design, I just thought it'd be a cool idea to give best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And then 8 post-game content. I mean, I don't really need to elaborate, but it's just more of games like if you guys played Spider-Man PS4, Red Dead Redemption 2. It gives you a lot of side quests and stuff like that, where you don't need to do everything right now, where you can decide when you want to do that stuff. And it also gives you post-game with DLC or whatever. But I mean, everyone just has their own idea of what they want for that. And then 9, unlimited customization to the trainer. I just want more than what we already have. Just give us more different eyes, different height, different age. Just give us more options there. I think it'll be good for everyone. And then the last one, 100 or more brand new Pokemon instead of around 60. So those are my quick 10. Try to rattle those off as soon as humanly possible. But last thing, our second last thing, Detective Pikachu. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm excited.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is gonna absolutely kill this part.
A lot better than the remake of the first movie.
Guys. Pikachu said hell.
I was kind of hoping he'd say fuck.
Pikachu's voice actor actually doesn't sound atrocious like how he talked in I Choose You.
Oh yeah, that literally made me want to walk up out of the theater. I watched that in theaters. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. But they did redeem themselves a little bit with Power of Us, so I'll give them that. But the first one was god awful.
On the subject, go ahead.
Detective Pikachu looks genuinely funny. Like I can definitely see myself having a fun time.
Really good.
Yeah, I agree. On the subject of him saying the F word, I saw a cool idea on a YouTube comment a little while ago, and I thought, I thought about it in my head, and I'm like, this would be such a good idea. So imagine they gave him the opportunity to kind of say the F word, but just before he could finish saying it, he goes to say foot, and then it cuts. It cut right, but it cuts, and then it goes to a shot of all the bystanders just looking around. He's just screaming out his name. He's saying his name, Pikachu, but he's actually swearing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
He's saying,
and that's enough. That's enough. That's all we need.
That would be perfect. Great. That'd be so good.
Yeah.
It's like older folks would get the joke, and younger kids would be like, ha ha ha, this is still funny, even though we have no idea what they're actually talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And then what do you guys think of the graphics with the game or with the movie? Or how they the realistic design of the Pokemon?
It's kind of terrifying, honestly.
It is. If they're in real life.
To be honest, Bulbasaur and Charizard actually don't even look like that bad, granted.
Bulbasaur looks really good.
I think Bulbasaur looks great. I think Charizard looks too much like a dragon, where I think if they fixed its face up, someone did a good edit on Twitter. I'll have to tag it to you guys later, but they did the realistic design of Charizard that's already out there within the movie, but they did it to a TCG GX card, and they changed it so it's more formed to Charizard's face and body structure, and looks infinitely better while still looking incredibly realistic. So I'll take that to you guys after this video. But
nice.
Yeah, no, it looks so good. But I think they did a good job with it. I think I liked the CG version of the Japan movie that's upcoming. I just like those 3D designs. I think that's what you need to do, but it's cool to see what really realistic Pokemon can look like. So now it gives us a perspective on that design style. So
Kind of a scary one for Mr. Mime. He's a little hairy for my liking, but
dude, I would be running away from all Pokemon if they were
Mr. Mime,
in real life.
dude.
It depends on the Pokemon, right? Like Ludicolo, I never would have imagined to be hairy. Like never in a million years.
Yeah, see, that one's creepy.
What?
That one's creepy too.
Yo, Mystic, you didn't see it? Ludicolo is hairy.
I did not see it. No.
What about the
You didn't see
Apom?
the new trailer? Oh, I'm gonna.
I saw some of them, but I don't think I saw Ludicolo.
Yeah, it's in the newest one.
Oh my goodness!
I'll send you a trailer
Yeah,
one
please
sec.
do. I'll go watch it later.
Yeah.
oh, you know, this is so unrelated, but just imagine a Skyrim mod with the fucking look of Detective Pikachu's like 3D models, man.
Oh no!
Right? If you were to, I don't even know, that'd be so cool. Or just think of a Pokemon game in that style in general.
Oh yeah, don't get me on the graphic implications with Pokemon. We'll get into another
2
conversation there. But all right, last one. So this is something that relates more towards us as content creators. We have all been around the Pokemon community since, I would say, around Gen 6. That sound about right? About
Yeah,
2013, 2014?
Yeah.
I've been here a long time, but
I was watching for a long time too, but yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys see that's changed since you first entered the community to what it is now?
Oh boy. Oh, we want to open that can of worms.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to talk
Man.
about that.
It was
That is
on
a
the
big
schedule.
can
I mean,
Honestly, it's all of you bargain game now at this point
Yeah.
in time. Who's going to be the first one to talk about rumors and leaks? Is this real? Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my theories and speculations on no. You mean the news and rumors that you're covering, not your theory and speculation. There's no research. You're not doing any research. This research has already been done for you, and you're just covering the news.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everybody's guilty of that in one way or another too.
I
Because
mean,
like, at the end of the
granted,
day,
I do reaction videos. Like I did a reaction video to the trailer, and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm like, cool. Like an easy 30K views. Like I can do this, but I'm not gonna do it for every single trailer. But I mean, if it's a brand new game coming out, yeah, I want to record my reaction to it. You know,
well, there's no problem with that. And I mean, we won't get into this discussion of what's, I guess, morally right and morally wrong. But at the end of the day, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, dude, like it's YouTube, man. Like at the end of the day, who really cares if someone's making content? If you don't want to watch it, just don't watch it, dude.
Exactly.
Who's
Like
making
I
a
don't
living out
care
here?
that people do it. But I mean, if you're going to label it as a theory or speculation, well, I mean, if you're, I get speculation, but I mean, they're really. It's not your
popping
research.
in and out.
Put it to you this
Well,
way:
then,
if someone's gonna make a video like that, if you lie to your audience, you expect to be burned because of it. That's really it.
I
And,
think
you know,
I think it
or
was
you can
Shady
have
that
everyone
came
love
up
you
with
because
yeah, Shady had a good reason where it's like, yeah, if you're gonna do that, I mean, people are going to know, like they're gonna click on that video, but now they know who you are, and it's basically a decision there at that point where they're either gonna trust you as a creator that they want to click on another video or not. So that's
Well,
just
you know
pretty
what?
much. Yeah, go ahead.
Great. No, just great point, because, you know, and I think me too. I think I've had like a situation like that where I've seen a number of creators, like not even just in this community, but just a number of people where if I see a video by them, I just absolutely will not click on it because I just don't want to. And I know that the content of it will be like, but
Exactly.
I think there's even a lot of people like in the community who have probably had that about any of us in this call too, who
Yeah.
when they see our videos, they're like, F this guy, because it's like,
Oh no, another top 5, man. I have no idea
that's the
how
thing,
long
right? It's
these
like
things
you
take
don't-
to make.
well,
Yeah, I was.
you don't have to watch it, but at the end of the day, it's more so like it's instead of starting an argument about it, just move on, you know? Like that's how I see it. But
I mean, I was about to say I came in before the big PokeTuber rush in generation.
Yeah.
I came around 2011, I think.
Oh, okay. So you're
So
one
you're
of
like
the
the same
early
time
pioneers.
then.
Yeah, yeah. And so back then,
Early
like,
pioneers.
you maybe had like a handful, like I'd say maybe 10 to 15 really prominent PokeTubers. And back then, everybody did their own thing. Like Jaywitz,
I was about to say.
He never
Incredibly
collabed with
different.
anyone.
yeah, he was incredibly different from say Shofu, and he was incredibly different from Hayden, and like they would all do their own thing. Like they wouldn't encroach on each other's territory. And nowadays, since there's so many PokeTubers, it's kind of like everybody makes content that is very similar to each other. Like nothing's quite original. Like I think before we started recording this, we were talking about this when we were ranting about ShowPro and whatnot. I think three of us in this call, our most popular video was like the Ash Ketchum.
Oh yeah, that thing does wonders.
More because they didn't even take the video
Yeah, like
down.
that's my most popular video. And I mean, it's just the thing of like people nowadays. It's more like, oh, this guy made a video that's popular. Let me do the same thing and try to do it better. Like,
well, it's always one upping. Like I remember, like I came into the community back when Black and White came out in Japan, and that would have been like what late 2010, I want to say.
Yeah, right around
and that's
there.
like around the era when Steve created like Pokemosh Pit, and like that was what was the big thing back in the day before like Lumio Station was like the big like not community but like group project.
Yeah.
Like this is what times were so different back then. You had like there was a group of people that were the Wi-Fi battlers, and you had the people that were like the soul let's players. Exactly. Or like Killer Nacho,
And then
or
the
like
top
Xerxes.
10 people came in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not saying that we are them, actually.
We are them. I don't.
Yep.
That's it.
We're all
Guilty.
guilty.
I'm just gonna go on record. I made one top 10, so
All right, there.
Actually, three.
We have the
Three,
one
yeah.
moral guy on the group. Damn it, gotta kick him.
I'm sorry, I don't belong.
Making a top 10 video, but they're just so popular that we do it anyway.
Well, that's it, man. It's capitalization on something that's an opportunity. Like that's really it. If you're dumb to not capitalize on something like that, if you're looking at it from a business point of view. But and I mean, again, we could go into more of this after the recording. But like, there's just some people that take it to an extreme that are just like, you don't understand how it's even like
Please.
4 or 5 videos a day kind of shit. Like
Top 5 benches in Pokemon X and Y.
Oh god, dude! Top 5 possible evolutions for Sword and Shield.
I'm about to do it. Don't at me. It's already on the way.
I've already done some like, possible evolution videos. I'm like, I'm done now.
Just do just do top 5 like Galarian form EVs that can come to Sword and Shield. Then you can expand on that to every single evolution out there.
Yeah.
So what I'll say is, I've been watching since Diamond and Pearl days, like Maryland Super Skarmy. I've been watching.
Oh wow.
I was watching for a long time, and what I think is, as the years have gone by, there's been like this sort of border that's like there is not much freedom anymore. I feel like people are expecting they feel the need to make similar content to other people.
Yeah.
Or just feels all like copy and paste. And that's not to say like I'm not talking in terms of like top 10s and whatnot. You can definitely have a top 10 and make it feel different. The thing about Jay Witz is he adds a bit of his personality in there. But if I look at like certain people, I'm not gonna name names.
Yeah,
but they're when it comes to Let's Plays, they try to copy like Nappy or Shofu or something. When it comes to top 10s, they try to copy Jay Witz or whatnot instead of adding their own.
Yeah.
Instead of being themselves, you know. And I get that. There's like there's a pressure to feel the need to like meet this expectation and whatnot. But you can definitely. The people who have been themselves for the most part, I feel like are the ones that have succeeded the most.
absolutely, man. Because if you try and conform to what everyone else is looking for, what stops the next guy from doing that, and the next guy from doing that, and then ultimately you have what we have now of just a bunch of carbon copies of everybody else.
Yeah.
And this is no hate too, because at one point like I branded myself with like an Ampharos and shit because that's the cool thing to do. It is one of my favorite Pokemon, but it's like everyone has
everyone
a
does
Pokemon
it.
that they're branded to, or they have like some character art. And again, no hate. Like I appreciate. I've been that route too.
Yeah.
Like, why does everyone look the same? That's the problem. There's no variation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So,
that's why I did the
agree.
rebrand too. And it's like, I didn't want to be labeled as this specific person. I want to be labeled as myself. And you can come to this channel and you're going to expect to see me rather than me uploading this, and this. And that's why I wanted to change it where I didn't want to fall under that stereotype where I want you to click on that video because I made it, not because this is top 10 video that you want to watch. Like, obviously, yes, that generates the views and everything, but you get to a certain point where like you want people to watch you for you, and it's great if you're getting a lot of views on these videos that are working well for your channel, working with analytics. But as far as what I feel inside, like, yeah, this is great, everything's going well, but then I'm looking at myself like, well, what's making me stand apart? Are people going to click on this video if I do a vlog post about my life? Like, would they be interested in that? And probably not, because it doesn't regard to this specific Pokemon or to this specific content. So I mean, that's just kind of my opinion on it. I don't know.
And I like you to making like your own series as well, like my best team series. That's my own niche. I mean, like that is my most viewed stuff on my channel. So I mean, like people are like, oh yeah, you do top 10s. I'm like, have you seen my best team series? Have you seen my what ifs?
Yeah.
Have you seen all these other videos that I do? Like, I'm not only doing top 10s, dude. Like, where have you been?
Yeah.
But see, it's not even. But you shouldn't even worry about when people say stuff like that because it's just ignorance, man. At the end of the day, like we all get branded. Like I think from the longest time, even an example for me, like I was branded as the only shiny hunter guy on YouTube. Like that was my thing for a while, and then now. I think literally every PokeTuber has streamed on YouTube for the longest time now. For the least,
I'm on Twitch. Sorry,
no.
You guys.
I know, but everyone tried.
I'm
man.
on the superior streaming platform.
Oh, trust me, I know, man.
We're not arguing that.
We'll talk about more of that after the recording. All I'm gonna say is, like, dude, trust me. Trust me, I do too, man. It's just there's so many people that get branded under one specific thing, and then you are forced to continue making that kind of content if you want to have that reputation. No, sorry. You get that reputation because you make that kind of content for so long. So the second you try to do something else, people are expecting something that you're not going to get anymore.
Yep,
so.
And that's why it's tough to transition.
And it's like, because I was originally a Let's Play guy, and like other than Let's Plays before, like I was doing like the best team for yellow playthrough. First episode only got like 9K views. I'm like, yeah, these people don't like it. I'm just gonna stop.
Yep.
Because I mean, there's one thing where it's like, hey, like I want to do this for fun, but if I'm putting in all this effort into a video that's not going to get very many views, this is my job. Why should I put in time to it? If it's not going to give me like a lot of views, particularly.
You talk about
when I can be putting in more time into my other content that does get views, and I'm doing.
Well, that's the thing, right? The thing it boils down to is, do you enjoy doing it, or are you doing it because it brings in views? And I'm not accusing you either way. I'm saying that
both,
right? So
once you start making revenue,
and I think it's important.
Even though sometimes I hate doing best team research, but I'm like, I got to get out this week.
Yeah.
That's the thing,
Sometimes I do like it, but sometimes I'm just like, well, shit. I actually got
the amount of research you have to put into those videos. I applaud you, man.
I have help. Thank God for that. I have a little bit of help sometimes, but the majority of it is me.
Yeah, I think the best way to go about it is do what works well for your channel, but also make sure you put in time for something that you genuinely want to do. And if you can balance that out, then good for you. That's kind of the goal. Like, maybe I should be doing Pokemon every single day of the week because that's what 99% of my creators or my subscribers watch. But if I want to do something different, I'm going to do that for me. I don't want to do it to destroy my channel, but every once in a while I can blip it in there so I can just like, this is refreshing for me. This is going to keep me going because if I keep doing all the stuff that the subscribers only want, I'm going to burn myself out. And I've done that. I've done that multiple times. So now I've learned from that. And whether or not it works going forward, I don't care anymore because this is the only way that's going to work for me to keep uploading.
And I actually wanted to do something called, like the PokeTuber Spotlight, where I actually take, like a really small YouTuber, very, very talented,
I want to do that too.
Kind of like the Birdkeeper Tobys, like, that they're just starting off and it's like, oh, hey, like this guy's really, really good. Like, let's give him some exposure. Not little Timmy with his 13-year-old ass and his little 240p camera being like, hey, Mystic, I want to be in your video too. It's like, no, dude, like I want someone like, someone, 17, 18, 19, 20, someone like who's around that age.
Yep.
I really, really, really just want to take the people that have like talent, whether you want to be a Let's Player, scripted content, but I want to keep it strictly like for Pokemon stuff.
I think the good way of putting that is like you want somebody who has a good grasp of what they want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're below, I mean, it would probably be people that are like below 10K particularly.
Yeah. But
not like you and Hybrid who have like 60, 70K. I'm like, guys, you guys don't really need my help. Like, I think you guys are like pretty much like if you want to collab, like I'll collab with you like on like my own time, but
right.
Well, I mean, if that's an invite, then no, but
I mean, Hybrid and I have already collabed. I've already collabed like what, twice now. So I mean,
we did it once,
like,
but either way,
once. Okay. So yeah. I thought we did it twice, but yeah, I mean, obviously, like later on this year, like I'm definitely down to do it again, and it was actually a lot of fun. But I mean, there's a difference between, it's like if I'm collabing with you, like I'm acknowledging that I really, really enjoy your content. If I'm giving you a shout out, it's like, you still have a ways to go in my eyes, but you have potential, and I want to show the people that you do have potential. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And a lot of it is just like developing friendships. Like, I'm not going to just go and put a podcast on like, well, you have a high subscriber count. You have a high subscriber count. I'm going to get you guys all together. It's more of,
I mean, we have a pretty interesting like demographic here of like PokeTubers, man.
Yeah, and I do.
Oh, yeah.
I like the people that I watch and I enjoy are people that I feel like I can hang out with outside of work, basically, or here. So when I feel like I can connect with you easily on a podcast, like this worked out really great. I genuinely am enjoying my time
I'm surprised it worked out this well.
This has been a fun podcast. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Like you guys are a great group that I consider they can be very personable, fun to work with, and we all have. I feel like we still have different personalities as far as it gives different opinions to ideas, and I just think it works out really well. So that's the kind of people that I look for. Yeah. So of course.
Thank you for inviting me on it.
Thank you.
It was great. I'm having a real fun time.
Yeah, and then you know what? Let's close this out. This has been going on for a while, and let everyone get some food and go to bed or something. Because I know some people
Go to bed.
wake up a little bit.
It's 2:30 in the afternoon.
It's time for a nap.
I've been up since 5, so I need to maybe go to bed. I don't know. I got a lot of energy right now, probably because we're on the podcast. And once we turn it off, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty tired. I need to get some food in me. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys if you make it all the way to the end of the video. Why don't you guys? Oh God, that's my dog barking. Now it's definitely time to get out of here. All right, why don't you guys close out? I'm gonna close my dog's mouth quick. All right, go ahead.
Let's try to get that plug in there too, dude.
I got hungry. I was HybridHero. I don't know the closest up. I was HybridHero. You can. My link will be in the description down below. Probably. I think all of our links will be in the description down below.
And is that everyone? Sorry.
No,
it's just me.
Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm JPRPT98. You can follow me at JPRPT98. Also, which will probably be in the description below as well.
I'm MysticUmbreon, and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content. No, I'm kidding. You can, I don't know, sub to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, all that other really cool stuff. It was fun being here.
My name is Jason Plays Pokemon. You check me out if you want to see really average content. Just that content. Hey man, I got some new stuff coming soon that'll probably blow some stuff out of the water, but nothing too crazy. So check it out if you want. But that's really it.
All right, is that everyone now?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. We're out.
Peace.
Bye.